Hi.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Welcome, everyone.
So what's up, guys? How you doing?
It's been,
You guys watching wrestling this week? You got some bangers. Got to watch some wrestling. You got to watch some wrestling matches.
there were some wrestling matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Doesn't fucking matter because Hunk is fucking gone. He's gone. It's
I'm at a
over.
loss for words, if you can
He's
tell.
out. He's out.
That's why I've not been speaking.
He's like he was here for like what, like beginning of season. He's gone. No more Hunk.
I just
No
have,
more fucking Hunk.
how could this
What
happen?
the
How
fuck
could
are we
this
gonna
happen?
do? I, Amakusa, what did he mean by that? How could this have happened?
Do you,
Who
like,
who
we're
who could
just
have
as
done
much as in the
this?
dark as you guys are, okay?
Yeah. How did we survive, Jacob? I thought I was done. The absence of Hunk awoke me from being beaten black and blue because we what the this is this is this isn't even like a new era. This is like the fall of Rome. Okay, like we're fucked. It's all fucked.
I've just been drinking the past few days. I don't know how could this have happened.
I've become physically ill over the like. If you
I
hear me
thought
like sneezing and coughing and dying on the stream, that's what the loss of Hunk has done to me.
I thought everyone was having fun at AEW, so this
What,
news is just kind of concerning.
what,
What I
I never thought we would. Wrestling has gone to a point where it's not fun. How is this possible?
Oh
What?
my god.
Okay, so like we got a lot to talk about this week. Okay,
Let's just start at the
besides,
beginning. We'll get there.
okay,
We'll get there.
besides that, pretty good week. Besides that, but
Besides the
okay,
massive elephant in the room, it was a pretty good week.
yeah. But everything's on fire. But but it's pretty solid week, pretty consistent. Ah, fuck. Okay.
Calm down. We'll get there,
We
okay? We'll get there and
okay.
hopefully have a much more composed headspace when we get there.
You might. I'm not.
You
I'm
got to
hurt.
try your best, okay? We got
I
to
hurt
give these
myself today.
people what they paid for. So let's start
Yeah, because
at the very
they
beginning.
are paying. They are
Let's start at
paying
the
their
beginning
15.99.
promo and
So
match of TFR
all right. Okay.
with
We're gonna carry on. Keep
you good?
calm. Um. I'm good. I'm
Okay.
great. Are you great?
I'm great. I feel great.
Great.
Other
Great.
than the obvious.
That was not great, but that's okay. We're still great.
Let's talk about
So
the opening promo and match. Kyle goes into
so
work, and the Jaegerists are blocking his path. Walk us through
what a way
this.
to like jump scare, because like I see a Jaegerist, I think okay, this is like they duped us. It's next week. I made my food for nothing. It's over. So what a great way to like kind of bait us into thinking like the jeopardy of the show was at stake here. And I feel like this was a great way to make us happy so they could make us absolutely devastated later. Because I feel like this was like the first match like we could officially say like we've come around on Kyle and we have
Yes,
faith in him.
yes, and that's
Because
probably
it
the
was not
intention of the
it was a
match.
long road to get. It was people's like halfway through season 8, like episode 10, we were still like we had seen him lose over and over and over again.
He was just a
Like that
jobber.
boss counter is going up. It's not even like a job because like each match like felt important and he would still be losing. So it wasn't like a date like what are you doing here? Oh, it doesn't even matter if you lost. Like it was like every week we put our faith in Kyle and it was instantly snatched away from us. And like this week was the first time we finally thought, okay, we're so back. And then just later on, you'll see it was immediately over. But let's talk about Ruber because this is a guy I think is probably you want to talk about like you say like, oh maybe Sam Stone's underrated. No, Ruber is probably pound for pound the most underrated guy like on the roster in terms of like just his ability to kind of be that effective heavyweight because
Absolutely, absolutely. Ruber is a
like Sam
workhorse.
yeah, like
He
I'm going
does
to use
his
Sam as a
job.
comparison. I don't want to clown on Sam because like we do like him, but he's just like a big normal person. Ruber is a
Right.
fucking freak, with the face and the armor. Like that's how you kind of like exemplify that like monster esque. He's not like an absolute like destroyer, like a pot or a like a rando, but he kind of fills that like upper heel mid card. And in a tag team, especially, he is kind of like the heater to Dutch. So ever since like they broke up, we've always been so like, oh, Dutch kind of steals the show. I think Ruber really kind of proved his worth this week. Let's talk about the match.
I do want to add
I
on
feel
before we
like,
talk about the
yeah,
match that I completely agree with you. Ruber is super underrated. A lot of people forget about Ruber's involvement in possibly one of the most popular season 6 storylines with Rando.
oh yeah. I mean, it's called football, guys. It's called
Yes.
soccer. Sorry, it's it's soccer, guys. But uh, I went on the gate with like the size of Ruber. Pause, but to kind of contrast that against Kyle, because one thing I brought up that I wanted to emphasize on was that like compared to Kyle is not like a twink. That's like the one thing we can't really like hold against him. He looks like an adult male, which is like we're living like in an era of the pillars, and we got the young lions, we got tough enough. So
There's
to
some
kind of like
tweaking
have
happening.
Kyle, yeah, it's a twink revolution, which is it's been like he looks like a fuck shoot. He might be cheating to achieve that that look.
But he at least
If
looks like an
Kyle,
adult doing so.
yeah, Kyle on the gear can neither confirm nor deny. I would believe it if it happened, but as for the moment, he is not twink core, and this is a really good match to display that because you could have like an underdog story with like a smaller guy, but you can't have like a small guy against Ruber without looking like fucking like quote Ruber feels stupid. Kyle, because I mean like I say that like you look at them standing head to head, it's like there's not like a head difference between them. So maybe Ruber is just like kind of so like fucked up and posing that he looks bigger than he actually is.
Well, I don't think you could say that about Ruber because he is just absolutely massive no matter how you look at him.
Yeah,
He's a
but I feel
great
like even
monster.
like compared to
Not a
Kyle,
monster
or like
heel,
even,
but I see what you're
but I
saying though.
maybe like that maybe even Kyle's even like bigger than but maybe like Kyle's like 6'2", and we just haven't really realized because he exuded twink jobber energy just regardless. Kind of like a Kyle Fletcher. He's 6'4", but like I look at him, I think like, okay, this guy is like 5'7". Yeah, but Ruber.
I'm sorry. I'm still just in awe about the hunk news.
Oh my god, I just
I
we
can't.
got to
I'm
keep
trying to move on from it, but it's going to be something to
we
talk
can't.
about later.
I think this is probably like I'll when we get to the end of the show, we'll do a little retrospective on it. But I think this is probably one of the most consistently solid cards, probably maybe all of season 8 parts 1 or 2. So it does kind of cast a shadow over it. But I think this
It does.
match
And
did a
it's a
great
shame
job.
because it was such a great day for wrestling. Such an
It
amazing
was.
day for wrestling. Everyone is having fun, but all
You know,
anyone can think about is the hunk incident.
the
Whatever
forbidden
could have
door
happened
was
there, the
open,
truth.
and Hunk closed the forbidden door. I'm literally shaking and crying.
Do you have any more comments on the opening match, Ruber and Kyle?
Actually, I mean, I want to like kind of move on and get to because we have so many matches to cover. But like, I
We
just
do have
want to
so many
like kind of give
matches.
this match its due. It was hard hitting. But it wasn't like it still felt like a good because it wasn't a real opener. We had the real quote unquote opener next up, but I just feel like Kyle did a really good job of just kind of like showcasing kind of how to get the show started without kind of like the burden of being Lee opener.
Right.
So it was hard hitting. It got the crowd excited. There was that doubt. Oh, maybe he'll lose, but like, oh, he's really taking it to Ruber. They it wasn't like extreme rules, complete brutality. Like maybe we'll see later. So it didn't kind of encroach on that niche of the card, but Ruber, he's hitting some power moves. Some moves we don't always see. Like, I saw some wheelbarrow varieties. He has a solid move set, and Kyle kind of matched that with his striking. So I enjoyed this match. I Like I said, I think it was a really good way to set us up for massive disappointment in a bit. Not
You
not
say
just like a
disappointment. You say disappointment, but I say storytelling.
Yeah, I have some thoughts about what happened later on. I think we'll cross that bridge because it was relatively early on. It wasn't like main event, so maybe that had something to do with it. But next up, we had the actual opener. We Apollo has in just 2 weeks. He has launched past the opener. He is in a whole new league, and what is left behind, we thought, was a struggling Carlos. And we thought, who could be worse than Carlos? And this week we found that out. Hijiri, interesting move to bring him back in this way at this time. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what was going on in the head of Mod with this choice. Ijiri, he had his moments in season 7. He was not. He wasn't even like a. I don't want to say he was a bad wrestler because that's not true, but he
He
wasn't
was fine,
really
but like
memorable. So I'm not quite sure what this move did for either Hijiri or Carlos,
I
or
think I
or
feel
the
like
Fed as a
I
whole.
feel like we might have entered this era of loser is trapped and betrayed in the curtain jerker, and maybe next week we'll see Hijiri have to kind of overcome, God forbid, Todoroki. Well, who knows? Like, who
You
could
put
walk
some
through that?
respect on that season 1 Legends name. I'm just saying.
I'm saying, God forbid, he has to face Todoroki or
Oh,
Shrek
like
to like escape the
a
curtain.
real opponent. Yes.
Yeah, because I said, like he didn't have a great showing, but he wasn't someone we were like gonna be clowning on in the opener until it happened. We were like, oh, Hijiri's back. That's interesting,
Well, the
and
crowd
we did
had a
not.
massive
Yeah,
pop when he first came out, and then it was silence. Just complete
yeah,
silence.
because they realized, just like we did very quickly, he was Rusty is putting it lightly. It felt like he had to relearn his own wrestling style against someone who, despite winning, I'm going to say this every week until it changes. Carlos still does not have an actual wrestling style. I'm looking at it. I'm looking really hard, and it's like there's nothing there.
Hmm.
He just goes out there, and it's complex, dare I say.
Just kind of a head scratcher opening to me, really.
Yeah,
Like
and like
I can't even tell you. I didn't even remember who won that match until you just said it right now.
no, I think Carlos winning was because like we thought like, okay, if Carlos is this, he's now going to be on the Apollo downward spiral, but he won, so hopefully he's like escaping this now, and it's Jerry who's kind of trapped and betrayed in the curtain jerker. But this match didn't really impress anyone with Carlos's victory. I don't want to say like the curtain jerker is like a dead spot because it has become kind of ironically enjoyable, but I'm more curious to see who's going to come out next week. The second I see who's in this match, does that make sense?
Yes, yes, I know what you mean.
But like I'm like new toy has come out, but when is next yummy new toy?
Right.
You know, so we'll see where that goes. Uh, we'll see where Carlos goes. He like I said, like he didn't like Apollo exited the curtain jerk, and we'll get to that later. He absolutely killed it. He got his chance and he did not waste it. But if Carlos really failed to impress in this match, he might go from opening the curtain jerk to not making the show at all. Uh, anywhere you think we could even fit Carlos on the current card because there's just so many great
Well,
wrestlers vying for TV time.
I agree. I was gonna say that I don't know where I would put him because, like you just said right now, there's a lot of great wrestlers, a lot of bad wrestlers, a lot of cool wrestlers, a lot of shitty excuse my language, shitty wrestlers.
Yeah, I
But
mean, it's the Fed, so you can say
the
that.
Fed, the Fed has a diversity of wrestlers, right? And sometimes
Yes,
that leads to good things happening, and sometimes that leads to bad thing happening.
yeah, because like if every match is a banger, some of the better
Then none of them are
bangers are kind of
bangers.
lost in the shuffle. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Carlos, despite that 5-star general club inclusion, like I said, I don't really consider someone who can deliver a banger. I want to see him get back on the mic because he just has that like optimism, positive energy that people really do get behind. Never give up. I feel like that's where he really shines. Maybe to see him in some kind of tag team or even like a manager role. Kind of getting Carlos in the corner of someone who needs that moral support.
Well,
Maybe an
there's always
extra. Who knows?
there's always next tough enough.
But yeah. But how old is he? He's like what, like 19, something like that.
Yeah, he's a young veteran for sure.
Yeah, he's he's like he wrestles like one, but interesting opener. Waiting for the next one. I think that's what we can wrap up with this one.
Good way to put it. Good way to put it.
Yeah.
We can move on to the next promo
Sorry,
package.
I'm still taking psychic damage from the Hunk incident, so forgive me.
Why did you have to remember me? I was finally starting to get on a roll here.
I'm sorry, but you know what? If there was ever anyone who could snap us out of this incredible Hunk despair, Chris fucking Redfield back on our screens.
What a return!
And he
what a pop when he popped up too. What a pop!
Yeah, and I just love the fact that like it's been like so long and he's still gunning for Dutch. Like his motives have not changed whatsoever.
No,
like,
he's a man
I
on a
enjoy
mission.
that level of pettiness. Yeah. Like Chris, very dedicated in anything he partakes in. As we'll see. But if like anything that can make me happy, it's Chris. Anything that can make me not happy, Claire.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Fucking Claire
Where did
versus
they
Red
find
on the
her?
horizon.
Where did they find her for another run, Meltzer?
I believe. I need to check my sources. Yeah, I'm trying to make. I believe she was at a menopause support group.
Oh,
Yeah, menopause. Like because cat lady.
Oh, I got it.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to survive the eminent Red versus Claire. I might have to turn off the stream for my own safety. Like
I have already come to terms with the fact that there's going to be a minus 5-star match on the horizon.
Minus 5 stars. Like I said, like that's like a match that is so like incredibly bad. It's good. I feel like we could get like a 0.00. Just no one enjoyed this. Disaster.
No one won. Okay. I mean, I'm hoping at least it's so bad that it's funny, but
I hope so, but like Red, because Red doesn't like do a bunch of flips and fall on her neck. She just kind of throws people around, potatoes them, sawdust them with the poison rana and the hot driver, and then just wins. So I don't think that's going to work on Claire. I think Claire has like that Redfield unga bunga DNA. I want this match to be over as fast as humanly possible, but I gotta set some realistic expectations. We might be in it for the long haul. God forbid there's like an extra stipulation. I was gonna say like two out of three falls.
We can at least hope that her time at TBD was it.
Yeah.
That's where she was wrestling. We can hope that maybe she has a bit of a new life to her, a newfound wrestling style. But I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm gonna be real honest with you.
Yeah, but I was just about to say like 2 out of 3 falls. Like I've been campaigning and petitioning for a potential Braun Panties match for Waka and someone who's not Waka. I don't care who.
Well, that's absolutely not happening anymore, and we'll get to that later.
Yes, but what I'm saying, could you fathom the horror of if TFR's very first Braun Panties match is Red versus Claire? Yeah, no. If I can't be, in good health, no one can. So, Jenny. Okay. He's still there. He's suffering, but it's okay. So yeah, Red versus Claire, Braun Panties. Hopefully not. Hopefully, TFR would never subject us to something so horrific, but never. The odds of a Claire versus Red Braun Panties match is low, but never zero. So that's all I'm saying. Like we think it's going to be bad. I don't think we can ever be prepared for how bad it could truly be. So just prepare yourself.
Please move
But
on.
what we
I don't
what
want to
we
talk about this
what we
anymore.
could not possibly be prepared for, what no one could have possibly expected, was what happened next. Apollo Justice, Adol Kristen, Badge of the Bone Championships. Holy fuck.
I feel like I don't want to take it away from Apollo. I don't. I feel happy for him. Is it possible that the Fed did that, made that hot shot out of spite? Out of spite for
I
what we
feel
said
like
on our podcast.
I think Apollo might have taken it personally, because you could have like an upset win and have it feel like, what the fuck is this? Like you could have like a gender moment where it's just like, well, I wasn't expecting that, but this felt like a perfectly executed upset. Could not have been any better. Apollo has wrestled the smartest match I've seen in a long time, and
I remember your live
like
tweets. You're saying the same thing.
it was beyond intelligent. It was like a masterful like argument of a match. Like first of all, he did his homework. He had every single big move Adol could pull out scouted. He tried like 3 separate bump cutters. None of them connected. Not a one. He was locked in. He had the download. And like I said, like sometimes 3 Justice drivers in a row aren't enough. You feel like you're not going to win this match. We'll get to the finish later. Excellent finish, but what I came to realize was, if it was anyone else, maybe we would have, properly estimated them. Maybe Adol would have properly estimated them. But to see Apollo in this spot, open challenge, remind you, like we had a contendership match later on because I think TFR might even book that contendership match just solely to show you that, we're given this filler match, open challenge, and here's the real contender. And Apollo proved us all wrong. You know, you know, the rope breaks alone are just showcasing his in-ring IQ. Maybe he had just been put in the wrong position this whole time. The match opener, no title on the line, never really gave him the opportunity to showcase how good he really is. So next week we'll see if it was a fluke or if he's really stepped it up. But
No, he's got to defend the title now.
He does against
So we'll see.
Caius. So I don't think cheap tricks are going to work with Caius. That's going to be like he's got the power or he doesn't. But when that's right, Sam was also Otis title match. Maybe a triple threat kind of scenario.
That would be
kind
quite
of a showcase
match.
of who. We had a triple threat. The contendership match we were talking about, that was a showcase of high IQ, multi-man wrestling. Who knows what could happen. But I find anyone, trying to wrestle a smarter match with Apollo, I find it very hard to believe they could do it. Like, when the positioning himself to be whipped into the ref, that was the moment because like I said, Adol, he was failing to connect with any possible offense. He was trying for bumps, he couldn't get them. Finally, like he seemed like he's going back in position. The ref bump just completely had his head spinning, and that's when Apollo started dragging it back. And that's the moment I believed like this could really happen.
I'm not gonna hold my breath on him. I want to see him defend that title, and then I'll change my mind on him.
Like maybe it was a fluke, but I think Apollo has evolved. And I say that because he got the rope break. Adol finally connects. Heat cutter, tried and true, one of the most effective moves on the roster. He's got that rope break, and like that seems like he's kind of outsmarted. But later on, Adol hits a second bump, no rope, no cope, and he kicks out. That's the moment like we realize it wasn't just the brains. He had the brawn, and I want to talk about finish here. He whips out a brand new finisher. I think something he has been like, labbing, in the gym, trying out, making sure it works. That new neck breaker, we've seen it be an effective move on multiple others in the past. He hit that neck breaker on Adol, one of the most like sturdy guys on the roster, and it was 1, 2, 3.
It was off a counter
Justice
too,
driver,
lest you forget.
Yeah, it was a perfect scenario to kind of like slip in there, hit that neck breaker. He did it. He did. That was the turnabout moment. So that turnabout neck breaker did what 3, 4 Justice drivers couldn't. So maybe this is how Apollo brings it all back. Great match. Just probably match of the week. I got to be honest.
That's some high praise. There's a lot of bangers
It-
on this week that happened this week.
Like I said, one of the most consistently good shows, top to bottom. But this just stood out so because they told a story, they had the interesting spots, and it just sets up for so many more options now for not just Paulo, but to see Adal finally get that match of the Mo title back and lose it again on his first defense. He's kind of entered like a Sasha Banks. This man cannot defend a title. Maybe we talked about downward spirals. To think that we could have what could happen to Adal. Who knows? But great match. I'm looking forward to seeing where both these guys go. Not always possible, so props to them. Are you mentally prepared for what happened next? It's been a rough week, so I just want to make sure you're okay.
I am prepared, and I think this might be the promo of the year. I think
Jenny?
this is absolute what?
Someone came into their restaurant and they wanted food, and now they have to cook it. What the fuck?
I think I can speak for Jack. I can speak for Chai. I can speak for everyone when I say this has quite possibly never happened in history before. Never.
You think that cooking is punk rock? I think Chai. I think that's kind of how he slides in there. Cooking is rock and roll. No amount of you couldn't have a banger in this situation. You would just have to survive.
Yes.
That's
and
why,
the objective
we didn't
was
get a match.
to survive at this point.
We didn't have a match. We had avoiding a massacre. Fucking. Not just.
We don't know if they're okay. By the way, I don't think you have your sources yet.
I mean, I can't even get my sources to go anywhere near this situation. It's very much
That's how radioactive
danger close, hot. It's not only this Katsuragi Yako, short blonde hair. I care, but one person ordering food already. Like my heart just dropped to my stomach. How could it possibly get any worse? Holy fuck!
Then,
like I said,
Mr. President, a second customer has entered the restaurant.
And not just any customer, because ever since the anime dropped, we've been waiting. Like, okay, when's he coming back? When's he coming back? He's got the sink, he's got the entrance. Where is he? Where is this man? This absolute, shockingly over wrestler. I could not think of a better moment. Lauius. I'm
not even going to try it. You can.
Lauius is back, and to lead with the Sopa de Macaco, how could this be real?
If your appetizer is Sopa de Macaco, I am terrified to see what your main event or your main course is.
He's gonna eat the bones.
Yes.
God forbid. We salute you, Jack. We salute you, Chai. I used to hate Chai. I thought
this promo turned me on him for sure.
Like you think you hate someone, but just to see them go through such unimaginable agony, even the most black hardened heart has to have that sympathy. Godspeed. Rock on, little dude. But
we do have someone in the chat. We do have a subscriber in the chat who is saying that there is live leak footage. I'm kind of terrified. I don't even want to look at it.
I think that's true. To upload that, that's gonna get taken down in a day. So get those archives if you dare. But Sora Rasa, even he doesn't have the sources.
That's true.
Our thigh rubber can't even get in. So that's how we're having trouble here. But
great promo. It was so thrilling and so terrifying to watch. Great promo. I have to applaud the Fed on that one.
I gotta say, because Jack is someone we've seen. This is Jack, who's been attacked by the brutal Blacklist Brotherhood for weeks now.
The only time we've ever seen
Jack.
The only time I've ever seen Jack this entire season was as a comedy jobber, right?
Yeah,
and now
like,
this.
I mean, because like it wasn't like he was involved in like silliness. No, he was getting brutally assaulted by the same Blacklist Brotherhood, who we'll get into a bit. How they have just completely shifted the boundaries of TFR, and even Jack is afraid. That's what I'm saying.
I know we're not going to do super chats right now, but I do see a very relevant super chat right now. $10 from Intern Coon, who asks, "Do we have any update on food super reviewer Dame Drops?" He was the gentleman in the restaurant before Yako came in.
I believe that the big guy Armstrong has become so popular and so ubiquitous that he has monopolized the food review scene. That's why we haven't seen Review Bra. He's still gone because the big guy is just so big and so encompassing. No one else is gonna. They can't review the food because he's eating it all.
Right, I see what you mean. But now we have a conflict of interest with Armstrong is there, Yako is there, and it's a three-way now. We'll see if that ever explodes into something in a future episode.
And Lauius.
Yes.
I
forgot to name him when I said three people.
Yeah.
Just like when they would say the three people won the Royal Rumble at number 1.
Oh yeah, it was Edge, Shawn Michaels, and that's all of them. But
yes.
could we Joey World Tour, Review Bra? Who knows who could walk through the forbidden kitchen door?
All around, just a fantastic promo. Before we move on, I want to break character and say that was probably the funniest fucking thing that has ever been aired on TFR in a long, long time.
Okay, like I said it as a joke, I would say oh, when's Lauius coming back?
Yes.
The Yuri Fujos have been going insane for the show. It's popular now. I don't know if there's we need to find the perfect opportunity to bring him back, and this was it. So
yes,
I'm like, poor extra. He's like the one little benefit he has. Like, oh well, at least my entrance isn't monopolized. Well, sorry.
Yeah.
So,
all right, we can move on now. We can move on. We can go back into character.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, shit. Gordon Ramsay also made an appearance on the card, so we are hashtag hungry here at TFR.
Yes, very hungry.
But next up,
we have a triple threat.
Three guys hungry for a title match against Apollo. When they walked in, they thought they were going to be having a match, to see who was going to wrestle at all. So maybe before the, that title match, they were a little more cautious, oh, am I really going to go put it all out there just have to face a doll? I imagine their shock after that title change.
I don't think any of them are prepared for Apollo. I think all these people have been doing their notes, their tapes, their what do they call it in wrestling, or not in wrestling, in football, when they're watching footage?
Yeah,
or did I say tapes?
Yeah,
already?
watching tape.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think they're all watching their tapes on Adel, and now here comes Apollo taking the belt. The winner of this match has 1 week to watch the footage, to get the tapes, to learn the ins and outs of Mr. Apollo Justice. Do you think?
What I'm saying is that I think Apollo watched more tape than anyone, just the way he was wrestling. He had it completely locked down. But that's in a 1v1. Against a more tactical wrestler like Adal. This showed three powerhouses. Even Sarah, who we've looked down on a bit in the past. This week he was. Sarah was hitting sneak attacks. Caius was hitting these power moves, and Columbo was just being an absolute monster. So, great triple threat match. Probably the best one I've seen in a long time, to be honest.
And that's saying a lot, because there are a lot of triple threat matches in both TFR and AEW.
Yeah, there sure are a lot of them, but I wouldn't say there's a lot of good ones, to be honest. Sometimes it just kind of feels like a 1v1 that kind of turns to a different 1v1 every few minutes or so. So to see this, like, three guys working in tandem in Extreme Rules, you know, just the way they were moving before the finish, I was like, damn, this is really, hitting different. But that finish, just Seraph goes for a kick, spins around, walks right into the end of Smiles. Kai's from behind, steals the pin. 1, 2, 3. I think the Fed is really stepping it up in terms of finishes because
Well, they
in
have the
AEW,
competition now.
yeah, but like AEW, like the matches are so good. The only finish you need is I hit my finisher, and then it's just 1, 2, 3 out of nowhere because the rest of the match is such a banger. But you
True,
know,
true.
good finishes is such a thing possible because we've seen a couple.
I'm sorry. It came up in my mind again. It came up in my mind again.
I mean, it gets a little harder every time, but you know, I try to focus on the up and coming young talent in the industry like Caius. And once again, he Extreme Rules. That was his debut match. That was this match. Who knows if he's going to be able to hang outside of like a ruleless format, or maybe he's in with Mod. Maybe he'll petition to get Apollo in Extreme Rules. It is the bad to the bone, badass championship. So
You would
it is
expect it
kind
would
of a
be
title that
Extreme Rules then, right?
it befits it. Maybe we get like a street fight, in the parking lot, in the backstage, falls count anywhere. Who knows? But with title on the line, I think despite his victory over the champion, it's Apollo who's going to have to prove himself to Caius. Two young veterans, in the prime of their lives.
Yes. And what a
So
great way to showcase these young talents.
this match made me care about Seraph. That's how good it was.
Wow. I never
Yeah.
thought I'd ever praise him, but here we are.
No, it's like he was like the smaller guy. Like these two are like heavyweights. He's the light heavyweight. He's a bit shorter. He was hit like they would be grappling, and once they were down, he would sneak in behind with a kick because like he is that pure striking style. But you can't just like walk up to Colombo Spies and just and slap at him, and then he slap at you. No, he had to be more tactical, and it didn't pay off. But like I do feel like this is the kind of environment he needed to shine. So if the match can make me care about Seraph, then I think that's enough to showcase just how good it really was.
Yeah, all around it was an amazing match, and I am very excited to see Apollo. First of all, that's crazy that I just said that. I'm very excited to see Apollo. ...
You want to get even crazier? If Seraph had won this match, we would be saying, "I'm so excited to see Apollo versus Seraph." That's the
True.
most unhinged
That's crazy.
sentence I could have.
Absolutely
2 weeks
insane.
ago, I would have said that ironically, like in character, like, "Oh, well, I'm so excited to see the banger of Apollo versus Seraph." No, that was a very real
We
possibility this week, just to show
we
like
had
how
Apollo in the
good.
bottom 3 a couple weeks ago, didn't we?
Did we have him in the bottom three, or did we like say we're look like?
You might have pushed him out, like you might have made that choice, but I absolutely had him in
Okay,
my bottom 3 in my heart.
okay, well, week one had like Vector and Beltway and fucking Tim. So Apollo was on our radar, but he wasn't like that offensively bad. But at that point, it was like a low for Apollo. We were saying like, if he doesn't win, and get himself out of this curtain jerk scene, he could somehow like surpass a Vector or a Tim. But what a turnaround on him. And Seraph, he's someone we never considered for top or bottom three. He was like the most top. We could do like a zero punctuation top three most meh wrestlers at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. Or we can go get Watch Mojo or God forbid, I don't even remember their name. That's how much I don't want to say them.
Well, like BuzzFeed.
No, 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 no. The other wrestling guys. You know the one.
Fucking what culture
Yes, yes. There you go.
or cultaholic. Fine top 10 artists. For a young wrestling fan trying to get into the business. watching, Adam Blampied is just the best way to get your opinions.
Yeah. And Adam Blampied
Yep.
loves watching little girls.
He absolutely does. He loves, big Stardom fan,
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
So,
We got to move on to a very tough match, a very heartbreaking match now.
oh God. Okay. So I don't. I'm not worked, guys. I'm not worked when I say this, but this match did a really good job of like pissing me off. But it just feels like tough. We were so high on Tough Enough, like allowing this to happen almost feels like a step backwards.
I see that, and I think this is a very risky play to have this like despair moment. Tough Enough is at its peak right now with the
Yeah.
finalists, with Kyle. This storyline is at its peak, so having them lose right here, this is a risky play, and it's going to either pay off really well in the coming weeks, or it's going to crash and burn this entire storyline. Because you could have had a feel good moment. You could have had a feel good moment with, Kyle and the Young Stars beating up the Blacklist Brotherhood, and then you end that on a high note with the finale, the Tough Enough finale.
Okay.
Right.
I'm actually gonna disagree here. I think that even if they had won, it would have been against the Blacklist Brotherhood. So I think even just having that match to begin with kind of brings Tough Enough down. Having them lose is just like apoplectic. So like if Jacob had entered Tough Enough, and like that would have been like, oh my God, how could these Tough Enough stars possibly stand up to this? Like that would be like that great despair moment. If we're watching, Gene, beating these three, guys, we were saying, oh, one of the best guys, top guys, consistently good, and it's like Gene, and like Bolo's great. The big guy is great. Dan's a great heel. Gene is just all of them are just like in this stable. It feels like I don't know. I just it would be one thing if they but to see like Jingu take it out backstage. That feels like maybe I don't want to call it like a shark jump, but like
you're having me believe that the Blacklist Brotherhood could beat up Jingu. No, sir.
That's the and Fee
And Fee.
And at the same time, Jingu and Fee. What a great combination right there.
But it's a risk because now you have you have set up like getting their win back eventually, right? They get their win back. They prove that they have truly grown as wrestlers, as talents, as people. That's set up. The question then is if they're actually going to have them win when that time comes.
Yeah, and I just feel like, Kyle, it was a good move to kind of like have that opener to like kind of reaffirm our faith in him before taking it away. But like, man, this week beat the shit out of me. I'm dying over here.
Well, was it the week or was it Jacob?
Jacob, I'm lucky to be alive after the incident of Jacob, but like to awake from that coma and see like no Hunk, no Tough Enough Reno, it's more than it's enough to make a man sick.
Yes. And what is also making a man sick is the prospect of a bra and panties match with Red and Claire.
That God forbid. But like I'm saying, like Kyle has like win or lose, like he'll either be legitimized or not. I feel like before like Sam Flam or Boogie Woogie Woo have even had a chance to kind of establish themselves as signed stars because they could get eliminated and just like not be signed. Like that's a very real possibility.
Well, I don't know.
So to kind of like,
I don't know. At this point, yeah, I was going to say at this point, do you see a future where none of these three people, or at least not none, rather? What I meant to say was, do you see a future where the two runner-ups don't get signed, even if they lose?
Well, one thing I think I touched on this like maybe last week. If they want to make the winner feel special, they can't sign all three because like, oh, we think you're great. We think you're great, but these guys are also so great. Like you want to have like, despite all three of you being so great, this winner has risen above you all. This is the guy. I'm not saying Boogie Woogie Tatsuya or Sam Flam couldn't be signed by AEW, G1, any number of enterprising feds. But I feel like if they really want to make Tough Enough stick the landing, they got to kind of commit to the bit and only sign one of them if that's the winner. So,
Yeah, I guess.
but to see,
But
but to
what if
see
we
all
have
three of them, eat
what if we have
L's
a
this
Royal
week.
Rumble, I forget which year it was, but what if it ends in a draw? This is just fantasy booking, but I want to talk about that for a second.
I mean,
Because like I said, I don't
like a
see, even with what you're
2005,
saying,
like Cena Batista. Yeah,
yes.
I think I think that would be like an immaculate moment of like, these two are just so close, they're dead even. I think you still got to have the tiebreaker because someone's got to win if it's tough enough, because like look at how many people we've lost over the week. So many guys who we thought were so good. Gregson is gone. Mekazawa got horribly injured trying to make it this far. So just to say like, oh well, you both win. It does kind of feel like a cop out, but this seeing them lose like this it feels like a gut punch. It just feels like, why is this happening?
I don't know. I still think that one, I still think that they're all three going to end up signing, and
Yeah.
two, I think this is a very risky move that could pay off spectacularly later.
Yeah, the match itself was fine. Like I feel like they had a good three. Was it 4v4 last week with the mentors?
It
With
was
Fargoth?
4v4
Yes, it was
mentors
4.
versus students. Yes.
Yeah. So already having another 4v4 is a huge gamble because like, if you want a good Iron Man match, you want a good ladder match, you want a good 4v4, you flip a coin and it's either really good or really shit. So already kind of pushing the odds here. But to put that gamble against like, the Blacklist Brotherhood, I don't know. We'll see where this goes. It just kind of feels like they somehow managed to kind of like stifle the momentum of Tough Enough, which I don't know.
It could backfire spectacularly, but I want to have hope.
Yeah, I have
want
hope.
to have hope.
With these guys, I'll always have hope that they'll just, deliver something great. But hope does not always equal success. You can have all the hope in the world, and it don't matter because let's talk about our main event, TFR. What happened this week?
Well, I don't really think we need to talk about it that much. Another clown victory.
Oh,
Really?
we don't have much to
What is
cover.
there to
This
talk about?
was a short match.
It was a
Hisoka,
disappointing match.
You say disappointing. I say effective because
So we have we've gone completely 180 from the Last Dance as well.
Oh yeah,
It's been vice versa.
I mean, yeah, it's like, Jackman. If it was like the Prince with like getting clown like this, I would have been like, well, that was a waste of time. But like to see Jackman like brought down like this, I think that really showcases just how scary a full functioning all out Hisoka can go. Because we've seen it before with Pot, but that wasn't for the world title. That wasn't with someone who won a contendership match that we like really like showed he was on a roll. Hisoka just absolutely dismantled Jackman this week. What happened?
Yes.
What? I don't.
Well, what happened
From
is. Go on.
From the first move, I could almost tell like, oh dear, because like Jackman he's a powerhouse. He's bulky. He's got like the athleticism. I wouldn't call him an intelligent man, if that makes sense. Hisoka is like the full package.
Yes.
In more ways than one, but
I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
I can tell you what happened. What happened is Jackman wanted, to bring Hisoka into a world of justice, right?
Yeah.
The problem is Hisoka lives in a world of rubber, and that's not compatible. And the rubber world is much stronger. Just
Bungie
experience.
World. Yeah.
Oh, Bungie World. That's what it is. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's right. My apologies.
It consists of both rubber and gum, but it is
Bungie. A Bungie is made of rubber, isn't it? A Bungee rope.
Yeah, rubber and gum.
Yeah.
It has properties of both rubber and gum.
Yeah.
but this was like we all figure that like, oh, a clown moment is always possible, but this is Jackman. There's no way he's going to get away with it. And then he did, and we just were like, oh shit. Because I
Well,
think that's important because we haven't had a legitimate world champion in a long time. Because like we were happy to see Wayne, take off with his run. We were happy to see Redfield hold the title. I don't think we've had such a legitimate like force of a world champion since Pegasus, who has since still been gone. So I'm saying like Hisoka has a chance to like really like legitimize himself as like I am the champion of the world. Which one of you could possibly hope to stand against me?
I can't think of many people who could at this point. Who has TFR not thrown at Hisoka? Do you know? Do you have a list?
I mean, like I could look at his matches, but like I'll ask you this: who do you know that could effortlessly beat Potemkin and Jackman in like 5 minutes? No
Probably
one.
Ricky Bobby, but other than that, no one.
No, Ricky. I'm saying he might win. I'm saying he wouldn't take 5 minutes. He would take like 15 to 20. Hisoka has this unnatural like ability to just completely like lock in and just dominate someone. And I haven't seen someone like early season Huck.
Hmm. I see.
Dare I say, possibly a new Huck.
Well, that is a big, big thing to say. Are you willing to live with saying that now?
I'm saying like if Hunk is gone, who in the business embodies the
Is
memory
Hunk
of
gone
Hunk?
though? Is Hunk gone
Is
though?
Hunk?
Do you not think the
I
Fed
mean,
right now is trying to get in on that pie?
oh yeah, but like I'm saying, like, do we have the money right now? Like, because he's gonna, however much money he makes, because he is the draw. He is someone who love him or hate him, just produces business. But you know, we have Mod, holding the reins right now. I don't. Maybe. Could you imagine Hunk walking through the Forbidden Door, showing up in G1?
I don't think that's possible though with Hunk.
Okay, because like,
Because G1 is currently working with AEW. Well, what has that accomplished?
yeah,
Especially with
but
Joe
like,
Merrick, who is also working with AEW pretty closely for the last 3 months.
yeah. Well, I'm saying like, America went abroad and came back, so now he's like kind of planted solely back in AEW. Is this kind of like, okay, you went abroad, now I'll go abroad? And I'm not saying it's like it's.
You're saying that maybe this is a big work?
I know. I don't. This is not. God, I wish. I would love to see Hunk come back next week and cut that promo. No, he's out. He's
Hmm.
gone home.
And
But
what about the USS? Do you know do we have anything on them?
I mean, Beltway. I don't know. If you push him, he'll probably start running in that direction. He's not exactly. You know, I feel like if Hunk tells him to go, he'll go. If Hunk doesn't tell him to do anything, he'll stay. So I feel like he doesn't really have that mind of his own. Vector kind of has that like self-mark energy. I mean, he thinks so. I could see him as being someone who thinks he can bet on it himself and stay, or someone who's going like, "Oh, if you fire Hunk, you fire me." And Ghost is Ghost, so who cares?
Yeah. Okay. We're using up our talking points for when we actually get to the segment later. We got to move on.
Oh yes, yeah.
Let's move
Sorry,
on to super chats. We're getting
the aura
derailed.
of Hunk just
It's
encompasses
coming.
everything.
Okay. It's coming, and it's
It's
coming
coming
hard.
home.
But we'll get to that later. Let's read the super chats. We're gonna start off
All right.
with the Fortnite Battle Pass from Nyron, who asks, "Does anyone remember the Howard incident?" I don't know what he's talking about.
Uh, like Todd. Uh,
I've gotten a note from my production crew who was asking me he was telling me that we skipped one. Do I really need to say
okay.
that one out loud?
Yes, you do. If you don't, I'll do it. But like, I'll cover that one while I think about what the fuck was the Howard incident. But $5 super chat from Sora Rossap. Talk about Alco's pubes for 10 hours. I don't think 10 hours is enough to like talk about the intricacies of Alco's pubes because I feel like there's already been a lot said in terms of like the C2 comparisons of like because like do the carpet match the drapes in terms of like her hair color, or if there's magical properties to it, in the same way that like she would. But I don't even like the grooming aspects in terms of like we've discussed like the density of the bush, but what I want to talk about is what are the magical implications of the pubes themselves, because do they change in regards to her magical ability? Like do they possibly like flare up and do they possibly like grow with her emotions? Do they I think there's so many questions we could ask about them. Me specifically, I would love to ask them, face to face to bush, but I just don't think we have enough time to cover it in 10 hours. So that's all I got to say about that.
And I'm glad that's over. Now we've got uh, I'm guessing that's
Okay,
a nine. What?
what was the Howard incident like?
I don't know.
Like I'm genuinely trying to think like what was the Howard incident? Are we talking about like Todd Howard, Geese Howard, um, Howard Hamlin?
I'm just gonna
I
move
I,
on.
I genu- Yeah, who is Howard? Like, I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about.
We have 1,200 V bucks from Intern Coon, who says, "I for one hope that Hunk rejoins his brother Extra in TFR, finish the story and whatnot."
Well, I feel like for Extraction to reunite, you would need the tag scene to be able to like handle that level of reentrance. And right now, I feel like the tag championships, we got Mark Wolf, we got Aniki, but I don't think the scene is ready to have that reunite, kind of like rock the world of tag team wrestling. So who knows where Hunk's going to end up? Like I said, like, we made G1, assertions, you know, seems like a dream match with him. Maybe we'll see him at TFR. Maybe we'll see him, hit the Indies. If I was Genesis, I would have Hunk on speed dial saying, "Help me train for Yuki," and show him, like, give him that little bit of energy too.
Do you think Ryuki could survive a training with Hunk though?
Yes. Whose audio is dying? My audio, your audio?
It's yours. I can hear you.
Oh,
It's like
uh,
I think it's yours anyway.
just actually like unmute real quick. Are we still back?
You sound fine to me, but I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, might just be my voice. Like I said, like the Hunk incident has left me scarred and deformed, physically.
Like I was saying just
But
before your mic started dying, do you think Ryuki could even physically survive training with Hunk?
I think he would survive. I don't think he would ever win. But I mean, we've seen plenty of people like step into the ring with Hunk, and like you don't have to like kill someone to beat them. Sometimes like your finisher is enough to just plant them flat, and they're just out for like a few minutes, but then they're back on their feet. I don't think he needs to like go 60 minutes like bloodbath destroy him. Just like a 10 minutes just in the ring with Hunk would probably be such a big jump in development for Ryuki. I would love to see that. I'm sure Pegasus, who knows, but I don't think extra is the path for Hunk to take right now. But we'll see.
All right, we got a $19 or no, wait, before that we have one bottle of moonshine from OP who asks, "Does TFR need better training staff? Those unprepared AI can't possibly stand up to the clowns."
I think there's something to be said for AEW because like they get their guys straight from the indies. These are self-taught, trampoline marks. They learn to do the moves, then they learn how to do them properly, or they just don't bother. But TFR has a very like rigorous training program, but it doesn't always teach you to be as like dynamic or flexible. Because sometimes you're gonna get dropped on your neck, and like you just gotta learn to deal with that. If you're just doing forward rolls, you're just doing rope running spots, you're not going to be prepared to deal with something completely unexpected. So I don't think they need to be trained like better. I think they need to like just get more experience out in the world of wrestling, because why learn to wrestle from Pegasus when you could wrestle Malachi Jackson?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. We'll talk about Malachi Jackson in a bit too. So,
We sure will.
$19 Fortnite card from Freedom Fries. What were Fi and Jingo doing together prior to the incident? Is it related to their rumored backstage relationship?
My sources have not confirmed anything at this time. But what they have confirmed is that me and Fi are still it's still in the cards. So I wouldn't. I don't think I would mess with Jingu for her, but I'm just saying. I haven't heard anything of that nature. But plans could change.
Hmm. And then we got a $10 $9.99 super chat from OP who asks, "Don't you think the Fed should hire those megastars Armstrong, Gene, Bolo, and Dan instead of the geek enough participants? Participants, rather. Excuse me."
Okay, I think I would hire Bolo because Bolo he one of the best KOJs of all time. Maybe Bolo could be the guy to kind of like challenge Ricky Bobby. You think you're the best KOJ? Well, no, that's me. He's got the look. Armstrong, the big guy, media mogul. He's got the time to make the card. He sends 20,000 tweets a day, so he's got the time to make the card. I would hire those two. I wouldn't bring back Dan for a full time schedule. I would hire Dan as like a part time like monster to like challenge a certain babyface and see where that goes. I would not hire back Gene.
Well,
I
Dan is a
think
bit of a hazard,
no. I mean,
know.
all these guys are blacklisted. I mean, Bolo wore blackface on national television, so
Right, but Dan is
but
in
like
a much like bigger pit of shit than the others.
yeah, but like if Justin Trudeau can be president of Canada, I don't see why
True.
they can't hire. But I think G needs to go join his AEW, his beat jobber team brothers in AEW, and he kind of like learn to start wrestling bangers. I don't think TFR would take him, but that's just my opinion.
All right, now we've got a $3.99 super chat from Noob Ninja who says, "I just saw an Instagram story with Hunk, the USS, and Nighthawk, and some others, all in a group photo at Outback Steakhouse. So I think it's a statement that they're staying with Hunk. They're standing with Hunk. What are your
Well,
thoughts on
I
that?
think it's crazy.
Can you verify that?
See,
I don't even know. I didn't even check his Instagram.
there's a lot of like rumors going around, and the one that makes me call into question the legitimacy is to see Nighthawk like out of his house. He lives in a helicopter,
Yes,
but
yes, true.
to see him exit that helicopter into society, that seems like a stretch for me. I don't think he ever leaves that, even for Hunk. So I can't confirm that, but I don't think Hunk goes to dinner with Ghost willingly. I think it's more like kind of expected. I could see him doing it with Hunk and Vector, maybe Beltway if they want to like get him drunk and watch him like beat up a waiter. But like I don't think they're. I think Hunk is kind of like he would big league them outside of the ring too. So I wouldn't count on that.
All right, now we've got Master Scholar has donated both of the Young Bucks. What do you think about the absolute?
Matt and Nick,
What?
or Matt and Malachi, Nick and Malachi.
It just says Young
Pat
Bucks.
Buck.
We'll see when they arrive. We'll see when they arrive.
Okay, we'll
Uh,
see when the check clears.
he asks, "What do you think about the absolute clinics Red has been doing with Green and other dark match women stars? Should Power be returning for another 24/7 feud against Red?"
I don't watch women's wrestling, so I don't care. Except when it's Alco.
Is that your statement? Is that it all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I would rather.
thank you
I'd
for
rather
the
watch
young. Thank
Alco
you
do
for
literally
all the Young
anything.
Bucks, Master Scholar.
Yeah, but like
Intern Kuhn since
I want to see Alco, maybe Arc. I think Arc did good this week, but like I would like to see Red outside of wrestling of a wrestling ring. If you know what I'm saying.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Intern Kuhn sends 500 V-Bucks. Speaking of Bolo Reynolds, where's Wright?
You tell me, because that's if I got that scoop, you would know exactly where he is. But he is in the wind. The reports about him, in prison. Those are so outdated that we don't even know if he's still incarcerated, if he's been transferred. You know, Wright is on the move. We just don't know where or when he will arrive. But when he does, you know, he could show up in AEW possibly, like
Absolutely
going
no
to meet
way. I
Nero.
don't think that could ever happen.
You don't think Nero would sanction the appearance of Wright just to defeat him once and for all?
Do you think Nero's ego will allow him to have Wright on AEW programming?
If Nero
And
thinks he,
I'm not to
if
knock on Nero; he's a good guy, but
yeah, but I'm saying like if he thinks he'll have the opportunity to beat Wright and end the war, so to speak, then he will absolutely have him on. Just one night only. Me versus you for all the marbles. But who knows where Wright's going to end up?
all right, one more super chat. We're gonna take the Summer '92 super chat. He sends Ada Wong, and he asks, "Do you know Leon's whereabouts?"
Okay, well, you want to talk about Wright being in the wind? We at least saw where Wright was before he disappeared. We have no idea where Leon went, and
We
he
still
is
don't
just
know.
gone. We don't even know where he disappeared. He doesn't have a last whereabouts. He doesn't have there's no trail. There's no he was as gone in the wind to Saihara until his miraculous return to AEW. So it could happen tomorrow. It could happen. We could never see him again. So there's just no way to tell.
I'm not too sure. I hope he comes back soon. Okay, one more for real
I hope
this
so
time.
too.
One more for real this
Okay.
time. Master Scholar has now officially sent Malachi Jackson along with the other Young Bucks. And he says, "It's been more than a year since CFR senior staff member Central has been hospitalized. Any news?"
I mean, Central is such a beloved figure backstage that he's receiving the best care. You know, any I cannot confirm or deny any reports of snake assisted sexual release, but let's just say that even if he's back to on his own 2 feet, he won't be leaving the hospital anytime soon.
But do you think he will ever be, in a ring again?
Maybe, that's tough to say because he's an older gentleman at this point. I mean, just getting his career started, but having an injury like that so early on in your career, it could sometimes be the end of it.
Yeah,
Do they
yeah, I
remove
see
his
what
brain
you
and put
mean.
it back in? Uh, they removed a snake from his naked body and then put it back on. Those are the reports I'm getting.
Wow. Modern
Yeah, so
medicine is
actually,
absolutely insane.
actually increased his rehabilitation. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah, yeah,
All right, we got to move on. I do want to
yeah.
say we should probably go a bit quicker. I know we were slowed down because we're still kind of rattled by the Hunk news, but we should go a bit quicker on these next segments because we are currently on. We've currently finished segment 8. There are 28 more segments plus the top and bottom 3. So,
And we're an hour and 10 minutes in. Okay,
and we're an
so
hour and 10 minutes
okay,
in. So we should definitely
okay.
calm down about Hunk and let's get through this.
I don't know if I can, but I'll do my best. And okay, so we start off with uh, Joryu, throwing in with the Jaegerists. Interesting, position for him to be in right now. Because Kiryu is someone who kind of exists outside of the TFR AEW bubble. Like if he walked into AEW, they wouldn't be calling him, Fed trash. They would be on their knees in respect. He's
Yes.
someone who kind of transcends the biz in that sense. So to see him in with the Jaegerists, I don't know what his plan is, but this is someone he's teamed with Keiichi. He also is in support of Date and Chin Man. So I think Kiryu is going to do what Kiryu wants, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to stand his way. But to see the Jaegerists, I'm curious to see what they have in store to kind of escalate this not war because AEW and the Fed are at war, and the Jaegerists are kind of third partying. Like if they had a position to take down TFR or AW, I think they would, but they couldn't do it on their own.
Right. They need to be much stronger as an organization. Or what? Or are you
Yeah,
just talking about Keiichi right now?
they have the numbers. They have countless Ingrams, but
They
I don't
have
think
the
they have
numbers, but do they have the power? Because it's just
that's the
like
thing. Because
They have like what,
They
500 fat British men?
like I said, like one Spanish 19-year-old just completely obliterates them.
Yes, they need a counter to
They
the
couldn't
Spanish.
handle it. They do have Rando, and I
They
would
do have
never count
Rando.
out Rando. So if we're talking about like a 4v4 strike force. They got Rando, Zeke, Keiichi, but then who's the four? Is Ame getting in there? You know, can she go?
Well, the fourth
Can
would
she wrestle?
obviously be a returning Aaron Yeager, right?
Well, I think I'm sure they would love to have a returning Aaron Yeager, but he's still, you know, in the win since the incident.
True, true.
But so, yeah, one Spanish 17-year-old. But um, speaking of teams, you know, you want to talk about TFR and AEW being like locked in combat. AEW had a chance to change that. Forbidden Door.
Big
There were
pay per
some
view.
highs, there were some lows, but you know, we started off with something in the middle. We
We
have
have
Adam Blade and AEW males, and I'm going to call them AEW males and not American males for the first time since we started this podcast because I've done it like 3 times. I'm
proud
not
of
going to
you.
do it again.
I'm proud of you.
And Double Dragon with Dan Hibiki. What a lineup!
It
What a
was
match!
great seeing them on AEW programming. You know, they
I mean,
like the rest of G1, they truly belong. Really, really. Like if AEW purchased all of G1 right now, would you be sad or would you be happy? Because think of
I
all
would
the
be
bangers they could put on.
I would love to see, you know, more wrestling matches on a longer show, and that would give us the ability to like see more yummy bangers. But
Yes.
you know, I think even AEW is afraid to have that much, you know, great wrestling on one show. So we might have to go a week without seeing Steve Burnside. You know, we might have to go a week
Oh
without our
shit! I
AEW
didn't think about that.
AEW
Yeah,
males match.
there kind of has to be a hard limit.
You know, even if you take even if you take into account like Rampage, Collision, Darkest, you know, the YouTube shows, you know, being the USS, which I don't even know if that's still ongoing based on what happened tonight, but you know, there's only so much wrestling that the human body can endure before, you know, they just explode. But seeing Billy and Jimmy back because we were unsure if they were going to be able to, you know, get back on the card after, you know, Arasado, you know, became Yuki Mikoto once again and jumped back to the Fed. So to see them back at it again, I was happy to see them. I don't know if this match was the best way to see them, and I think that goes double for Adam Blade just because like
Well, I'm just happy that
he's
they
just
had fun.
they had fun. I'm saying like what could they have had fun and also, you know, done something that is like, you know, perceivable to the human eye, because I don't know if we got that tonight.
Well, you can't criticize them. You can't criticize if they're having fun, right? I'm going to stop you
I
right
can't.
there.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't criticize them if they're having fun, but like, maybe I was not having as much fun as they were because
Well,
I just thought I.
it's not about your fun. It's about their fun.
Yeah, but like, we could have gotten like a finish or something, but I don't know. I think it's up. Multiple points during this match. We had. You say they shook hands, but at some points, you know, we had wrestlers threatening to, you know, walk out, you know, head back to Gorilla. So I think that maybe there might have been some points in this match where they weren't having so much fun. So,
I
you
couldn't
know,
handle that. Please don't insinuate that. Because it's enough that Hunk walked out and it made it seem like maybe things are not so fun. But if you're going to say that there is even more people that were not having fun tonight, I could not handle that.
I mean, you know, if Jimmy is not having fun, then, you know, is what's the point of even having this match? You know?
I really hope we get some kind of clarification that everything is going to be okay, because
Yeah,
if they're not having fun, something is wrong.
yeah. Things are not. I need to know that this match was great, and AEW is the greatest it's been in a bunch of great aspects. You know, but it is not much to like really break down. That they sure did a lot of things, a lot. I think at some points, quads were torn, necks were sawdusted. Um, limbs were snapped. It was not that might not have been fun, but I just without a finish, there's not really much to talk about. So I think this is one of the matches we can kind of go on. We didn't even get a cell bump. So if you're not like jumping off a cell and moonsaulting through two tables, could you really say you were having as much fun as possible?
I guess not. I guess not. But I just hope that
And
I just hope that we get some kind of more or just something. We need some kind of a breadcrumb here because the Hunk situation, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but the Hunk situation is dire because it might be revealing some inconvenient truths about AEW. If the worst is to be believed, it could be leading to some dire inconvenient truths.
I mean, I'm happy to see Dan Hibiki just in the ring. You know, because even like in this match, he managed to like impress. And you know, I always happy to see Chatham Blade. You know, Absolute Haas. You know, seeing him in with AEW males was interesting. You know, maybe I would like to see an AEW males Iron Man match involving Adam Blade, possibly. But you know, I feel like this match left us wanting more fun, more wrestling. So until they give us more fun, there's not much we can really talk about. So I think this is one of the matches we can kind of keep the show moving on and just kind of see where they go with that.
And just like the show, I think we should be moving on to the next match.
We sure will.
And this is a match for the Heartwarming Latinx Championship.
It sure was, and you know, and you know that means it's Dante, and you know one thing that I really this match really got me interested in it was you know when the crowd was we sure were at. I just want to say that what do you think?
I can't think at all. I can't hear my own thoughts. There's something far more dimes than Dante versus Cats playing in my ears right now.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think at some point that the crowd they were
Dante won the match. He addressed he did a promo.
I wasn't really paying attention.
There was a promo, I didn't care for it. He made a weird joke about the NDA.
I mean,
it was kind of in bad taste. I wish he would retire.
Allegations. What?
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 Huh? What you mean?
Oh, so you don't know?
You tell me.
Afraid so.
Not your dancing monkey.
Let's move on. Let's move on from this. We don't need to talk about that match. I'm sorry to Cats, but you were in the ring with Dante. I don't care.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a trip we're gonna take a trip to Mexico now.
See.
Are you there?
See.
Bueno. It's about as silent as a real crowd in Mexico.
Sí, nosotros tenemos Yuki Ali Malachi.
¿Qué?
Regalas extremos perros no explosivas, ¿sí?
Sí.
Super Kicks muy buena muy. Super Kicks muy buena muy.
Sí.
Lucha flip Ryuki is the same in Spanish as it is in English. Fascinating.
Well, quiero que se hayan divertido.
Pegasus o quieres morirse?
¿Qué?
Se busca a Pegasus o que día de volver a Japón y buscar más éxitos.
I'm sorry. I don't speak Mexican. Could we start doing this in American now?
One more thing. Ryuki demostró que una noob. So, they had a match. Had a lot of super kicks. Had a lot of dives. I like a good lucha match. This was not a good lucha match. I don't think this was a good match. I don't think this was really like a match. So pero caca.
Mm.
Oh my god.
You know, I completely agree with everything you said, especially when you were speaking Spanish.
See.
We can move on now. The match was
Yes.
we talked about just about everything we could have in that match.
Yeah.
We can move on to the beginning of the Burger King. My mic automatically muted itself. That was really weird. I don't know how that happened.
It's because you weren't saying it in Spanish. El Burger King Machento. I don't know, but we did not have a few highlights in the opening of Forbidden Door. God forbid I say that, but you know, it seemed like this show was not on course to be great. But what I think this is a match that definitely like brought it back around. We got Travis Fuckhead and we got Airman.
What a surprise it was to see Airman. I mean, I know he was announced for the card, but it was still pretty fun to see him come out.
Yeah, I think, like, dare I say, this was like a good booking decision from AEW, because, like, you know, because Travis, he is like a real like gamer, but you know, I think that
The souls of the damned have entered Meltzer's room right now.
you know, this is what it feels like to be a gamer competing against Airman. You know, and I feel like they worked the match in a way that really feels like Airman was on top, and Travis couldn't even like find a way to not evade, you know, his offense, which is like great. I feel like that's the best way they could have like improved upon the Airman gimmick in terms of like you could not defeat Airman, but I feel like this is a good match to have to set up for like a big yummy 30-minute banger later on in the show, and we never really got there. So that's not this match's fault. I think, you know, Airman, his offense looked good. You know, Travis sold well, but you know, it was kind of like setting up something that never came. But I guess that is kind of the point for it being like a Burger King championship qualifier match. So I guess we'll see, you know, how Airman manages to like progress further on the Burger King's road.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who goes all the way, especially with there's a promo first, but especially with the winner of the round 2, or rather the second match of the first round. Well, we got to talk about the promo first.
Yeah.
Saihara attempts to activate the Science Belt. He has all the AEW belts, but he just can't get it working. Walk us through this. What happens here?
I mean, I don't. I think that you need to trust the science. You need to get the jab. You need to wear the mask, and you just need to believe research. So I think I was shocked and startled when Saihara implied that things were also not being great. Just from because we don't know what wish he was going to make with the science belt.
I'm sure
Hopefully,
it
he's
would have
like,
been a good one. I'm sure it would have been a very good and beneficial one for all of wrestling and the world at large.
because like the only thing I could only wish for like to have more bangers, but I said like maybe that's something he was gonna wish for, but then I realized, oh no, the bangers were inside me all along. But no, I felt like he had a very specific wish he wanted, and that's why he embarked on this. He went to AEW Rampage to get those belts, like where no man has gone before. So he seems like he really wants something out of this, and when he didn't get it, he was like angry, which
I've never seen. I think Steve was it? He made a mention of it, but he has never seen, and I have also never seen Saihara get that angry. It seems very out of character for him.
I was expecting him to say like, "Yo, where's my science belt?" Classic Saihara moment.
Yes,
And he that didn't come. And, I felt like crying when that happened.
I do have a friend, whose children watches AEW, and he reported to me that his children were legitimately crying with fear at this segment. Do you think this was a good? First of all, was this a shoot, or did the cameras find him backstage and decide to film? Do you think this is a scripted segment? What? I don't know.
I think we can ascertain like because they build it as Saihara activating the science belt just for him to like kind of realize that it wasn't working no matter how much he did, and we needed like Toffin to come in and say like you're missing one belt. So
Teddy Max's.
Teddy Max's of course.
So you think this was a script?
Naming.
You think this was a script to then build up a new match? Is that right?
No, I think he was getting ready to activate the science belt, and he like could not. So they needed to kind of like pivot.
They needed to come up with
what's going on here.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was trying. Like I don't think even if they wanted him to not to do it, he would have done it. Like it really something.
It felt like he really needed
like
to use that
but
belt.
it do. Yeah, so interesting trajectory for Saihara. The man, he's our world champion. He's on top of the world right now, but there's still more he wants. And I thought it would be bangers, but apparently not. But just to see him, just so angry like that, we'll have to see where that goes.
But first, we'll have to wait for next week or maybe 2 weeks from now. I don't know. I'm gonna say right now, I'm probably gonna miss out on 80% of this Friday's episode. So that's gonna suck big time. So
Vodkex, BTFO.
It's entirely possible you might need a new co-host just for the next week's episode. I'm just gonna say that live.
I'm sorry. The thought of not having Jenny co-host with me just absolutely made me almost as sick as I would hate to. We have to always trust the science and
there's nothing I can do.
But...
I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it.
I know it's okay. But
let's just continue on while I'm still here, while the good times are lasting and I'm not working as a wagey. We'll go to the second match of the first round.
Okay, I legitimately wanted to shit on this match from the beginning, because Zoom.
You've been waiting for this.
I have been, and because Zoom is in this new gimmick. It feels, could he be expected to be a shooter? When we have Punk and Mass Saihara and Nahabino, all truly powerful opponents. But I was ready to say Zoom was gonna blow it. They were gonna do some flippy, oh, the glass tubes. Oh, this is so. Oh, he landed on his head on that deadly, moonsault. But no, these two were out there for the killing match.
It was a pretty surprisingly hardcore match.
I mean, like
I
empty
wasn't
guys
expecting
took that
something of
bump
this
on the
caliber
chairs.
from AEW.
Oh yeah. Like I thought they would do like, oh, it kind of knocked him on the head. Like, oh no.
I thought there would
His
be like
spine,
a bunch
bent
of
back.
blood because they love doing blood, but it
No.
actually felt
This
like
was
pretty.
this was worse than blood because like this felt like a car crash
Right.
kind of match, and I feel like the finish you kind of feel like the best way to do that because these guys were both so beat up they weren't going to keep like doing Irish whips off the ropes, drop down leapfrog. Zoom got a hold on and empty guys had to tap out, which I think that really puts over Zoom as like no, he is that dangerous. He is that much of a superstar. So I apologize. I was not familiar with your game, Zoom, and guys I was familiar with. I knew he was the most dangerous. I didn't think Zoom was going to be able to hang. I thought Zoom could have to like drag him down to his level, but Zoom actually did step it up and show that like no, he is just as dangerous as he appears. Menacing.
Yeah, I think for once I'm believing in the Zoom hype.
Because,
And that's
Zoom's
pretty
always
cool.
been,
That's
like,
pretty cool.
even like as far back as season 1, Zoomer was kind of like the designated, like he would be like last in the power rankings. He would kind of like be the joke, but he would have like a good showing once in a while. And I feel like even all these years later, even across 2K19, 2K23, the essence of Zoomer is still kind of like bussin'.
For real.
For real, no cap.
There's no cap about it. Overall, it's a good match. But
It was a good match.
this
And,
is...
like I said, these were all like shorter matches, which not always a con for AEW, but I kind of felt like they were like setting all these like shorter matches up for like a really like amazing bang. We got one of those later. We'll get to that when we get to that, but it felt like they were somehow showing restraint on their bangers for the sake of more matches, which doesn't always happen in AEW. Normally it's just like I do all my moves and the next match happens and they do all their moves. So I felt like they were really building it for something huge, and we got something that was pretty good, but I don't think that diminishes from like these like shorter, more to the point matches.
Right. Sometimes you can't... I mean, I know this is going to be blasphemous to say, but not every match can be a 45-minute banger, Sometimes you got to have a short and sweet wrestling match.
Yeah, but you could have like a 10-minute banger,
Yeah.
like the Nintendo Switch Slim of bangers,
Yes.
Yeah.
But now
And
we got to
somebody
go
might-
into... Oh, sorry. You still have more to say?
No, I was someone who might enjoy, a Nintendo Switch Lite would be Tim. Tim Spoke.
Yes. Oh, this guy. Before we
Tim,
go anywhere, we have to say that this is probably, like 99% certain, the beginning of the situation, of the incident.
Yeah. And like
So let's...
it feels crazy to say that because the star of his promo was Tim. Just hearing him
Yes.
speak in that promo, like actually, like I think this is the favorite thing I've seen Tim ever done because it was just so absurdly Tim. But I didn't care about what Joe Merrick was saying, so it just kind of glossed over to me. I didn't think that like Hunk would like be backstage seeing this and like
I
take
didn't
it
think
as
Hunk
seriously
would...
as he did.
I didn't think Hunk would even know what this was because I'm sure he, like everyone else, wanted to wish they were wishing they were deaf during this entire promo segment.
Oh yeah, like like the scapegoat, interesting new direction for Merrick. This is someone who I don't want to say has succeeded with smart fans because everyone in AEW is just a true, all the biggest wrestling fans support up the best wrestlers wrestling in that wrestling ring. But Joe Merrick is someone who kind of feels like a counterculture pick. So to see him in that scapegoat position after the Hunk incident is, I don't know, it just feels like I just wanted to focus on Tim, to be honest.
Well, we can't avoid this for much longer, so enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, so dare I say that like Merrick is, disappointing the Pillars. Because like, the Pillars are supposed to be like the best wrestlers, holding up the company, we have Steve Burnside, we have Eugene Chon, we have Filipino, and then there's Joe Merrick, who's just like, who's kind of like the weak link, like the weak pillar.
But now, like it or not, he has become more than just like the fourth pillar. Like it or not.
Yeah.
If it's true, what the rumors about backstage are true.
And I mean, like, this was a preempt for the actual match. He went in as the Giga Chad champion, and apparently he walked out of the. I genuinely don't know what happened to him in this match. Some people told me he was in the match. I don't believe them, because I left for like a minute, and when I came back, he wasn't even in the match, and then he was.
Well,
gone.
I've heard rumors that Hunk might have made the call backstage with Amakusa, who might have, he heard that promo, he didn't like it, and he made the call to Amakusa, told him to drop that belt immediately. And then something clearly happened after Merrick gets eliminated first and goes backstage. Something, I think at that moment when he goes backstage and the rest of the match is happening, I think something happens right then and there, backstage.
So like that was the moment they realized like it was gonna go down, and like they just weren't gonna, like cool off and settle it.
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, the second shot, the shot was fired back, right? If that rumor's to be true, that Hunk made that call and he told Amakusa to, have him job right then and there, drop the strap, as some kind of punishment or whatever, that's the shot being fired back,
Because like Hunk
because at that point the war is declared.
Yeah, because like ever since the incident, involving Hunk's dog, he hasn't talked about Merrick. He hasn't, insinuated anything about Merrick. So I think he was kind of like ready to keep it going, or rather like ready to kind of let it go. And Merrick, he was off from Excursion. And okay, so on to the actual match. I'm looking at it here. Merrick, he does enter the match.
He does indeed enter the match.
I wasn't sure of even that, but I'm saying like he's standing here and then he just walks out. I don't think he got pinned really. I don't even know what happened here.
I think we're just kind of I think we're gonna gloss over this match honestly, because we all know what happened after this match.
Well, I want to gloss over most of this match except for the finish, of course, because
okay.
I said I was going to do this before. I want to like go over the sink, because that's
the sink
the
was pretty
here.
Good.
That was okay. Like seriously, that was the best sink I've seen.
The sinks, plural.
There were two sinks. One of them was a lot better than the other, because I think I'm trying to think of like a sink that's been as good as that one, and I'm going back to like season 6. That's how long it's been since something like that connected. So the start of this match was Gillian, Mr. Sneed, and he walked out with a victory, new Giga Chad championship. He got the best moment of the match, and let me see here. Let me pull it up.
He's pulling up his notes right now. Please be patient.
Yeah, I just trying to get my notes. I can't find it now. But let me just pull up the actual clips. I'm trying to find it in the VOD like a fucking monkey. Hold on. Just gonna get in my notes here. They have continued to swarm me all around me, all the papers. So I do want to. I know we can't watch it in real time together but like when you go back to watch the clip, which you should, because it really is like that good.
I'm watching it right now. I've got it pulled up.
Yeah. So okay, so I'm gonna break it down. So right off the bat, like people don't notice that the little kick Duke is doing for, he's going for the stunner. That's his finisher. He's going for it, and Gillian hits the leg drop, and that's just. It's so good. It's so fucking good. Because it's not just like happening on beat. He is like dropping it like with the famouser. So it is like drop it, bam. And I think that's what kind of like is there's like a sync that it's like, oh, that move hit on beat, to be like, this is like true synchronicity between match and music. Because there's no way to really force a sync. You never know. You can't really predict how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. who it's going to happen with, but when it does happen, you feel it in your bones, like, because it's just so satisfying. So the match itself may not be remembered. I think this sync is going to be just, people are going to look back on it like that was such a cool moment that, like, I think it's funny that this, like, kind of preceded, you know, the horrific, you know, bone-chilling events that happened afterward.
It's the day
But,
the wrestling world stood still.
Exactly. But
There's
you know,
no
it
getting out of
moved.
it now.
Yeah. But I think that was a great moment for the Forbidden Door.
Oh, we forgot
I
super
think
chats.
that. Yeah, we'll get to those. I'm not ready to
Okay.
move on, but like, yeah, because I think we should do super chats before we get into the actual breakdown of the Hunk incident. But so yeah, let's see those super chats.
Let's get to the super chats. Well, we can delay this a little bit longer with super chats, but we got to talk about it after the super chats are done.
Yeah,
We'll start with $10 from Intern Kuhn, who says Gordon Ramsay's talent could be used much more effectively over in Coolsville than in Japan.
I mean, are you asking for our thoughts about that, or are you just kind of like making a statement of like that's what you
It
think? 'Cause
seems
I
like
agree
he's
with you.
making a statement.
Yes, because like Japanese cooking, you know, they're not ready for like a real like British cuisine specialist like Gordon Ramsay. You know, like beans on toast bread sandwich. You know, have you seen like? Yeah, he doesn't want like some big, beefy pizza. None of that. No, he wants like a real deep dish. Slappa, of course. So I think that who else? Who has cooked in TFR or the Rumbles in general? Arthas cooked. He suspended Roni, his pepperoni, and like
Yes.
that's it. So it is like a very like unfilled niche. So I feel like if the demand is higher in Coolsville than Japan, I think there's no one else who can really fill that niche. So who knows? But I think that Chai is kind of like on that direction to kind of like get that punk rock cooking under Jack. So we'll see where that goes. But until then, maybe they will have to fall back on Gordon Ramsay.
Pyro Wikiman with the 500 gil comments on the rumors of Kevin R. Nash visiting AEW Darkest.
What does the R stand for?
I thought you had the information.
So you don't know?
Yeah, I realized I missed that line while I was saying it. There's no going back. There's no going back.
Yeah. So Quab.
Afraid so.
Afraid so.
All right, Nipa Lover 92 with the 4 times 10 to the 50th power, Argentinian pesos. Can you give a shout out to Me Too rape victims like our dear Kevin Nash?
We just did. Keck, what a raped bitch.
Yeah. Thank you for the 25 cents. Master Scholar with 5 great British pound. Dante is just a master of reinventing himself. Can you name all of his legendary gimmicks throughout his career? I know you can, and I'd like to hear it.
I can. So you started off, with Wacky Wahoo Pizza Man in DMC1. Then you have, Sad Man in DMC2, and then you're back to Wacky Wahoo Pizza Man, and then in DMC, and then it's like Wackier Wahoo Pizza Man in DMC4, except now it's kind of like wackier, and then DMC5, he's Boomer Wacky Wahoo Pizza Man, but he's also Michael Jackson, just
Yes.
amazing stuff. And then of course, the Killhoff tweet, just master of reinvention.
For sure. Intern Kuhn bought our associated Call of Duty skin using the code on the Wrestling Observer. No, that's for Fortnite, rather. Sorry. We do have a lot of skins coming out. I might have just accidentally leaked that we have a collaboration with Treyarch and Activision. Please do not remove our skin from the upcoming game. Do not remove them. Us advertising it is going to bring.
May or may not exist. Yeah.
It's going to bring so much more, players to your game if you keep those skin in. So please, do not get too upset.
the 18 to 49 key demo will explode. So
Yes.
yeah.
But it was
But,
actually a Fortnite skin. This was, if I am to be believing correctly, this exact message is pertained to the Shibita brainless Fortnite skin. I said
Yes.
that wrong, but I don't care. He asks, Dante has some balls actually coming into the ring after what he did to the female audience member a few weeks back. That was the comment.
I just need to. I mean, he sure does, but I mean, if he doesn't, just it makes me absolutely sick to think about what he did, and I think that as long as they don't address it, we're not going to hear about it.
Yeah.
So
I made this comment yet last week too. I said that
Yeah.
I don't think Amakusa is going to be one to make the comments about it. He's just going to try to let it slide and hope that the goodwill of AEW buries whatever happened there.
So based off the altercation between Amakusa and Nero later on, I don't think it was Nero's Kyrie that was assaulted, like we initially thought, because I feel like Nero would have had a much different reaction. So could this be? I didn't look like Kyrie Shiromira because then it would have been me out there, committing sexual assault. But
You can't say that. We're on live. We're live. You can't say that.
yeah, well, if it's Kyrie, I don't care. So.
Now, you are talking about Devil May Cry, right? You're not talking about Kingdom Hearts, because I will have to call the police otherwise.
Oh wait, I was talking about Yumineko, a Battler's hot mom who was actually on
okay.
TFR. Oh, what? I forgot about that one. Yeah, she had. I think she had like right here. So I think it might have actually been Kingdom Hearts Kyrie. So
I'm gonna have to call the police. I'm gonna have to call the police.
Yeah, so on Dante, not me.
Oh, yes, of course.
Because I was saying that if it was Kyrie Shiromia, I would have been out there. I would have been in there like swimwear, no question. But if it was Dante and Kyrie from Kingdom Hearts, then that just makes us even worse.
Yes.
Could we see my Heckin' Blorbo Chungus Scrimblow Sora from Kingdom Hearts appear?
Well, I've always wanted Riku, but they won't put him in because they're cucks. So.
I mean, like, I kind of hate Kingdom Hearts just on principle, but I feel like
you're a massive bitch.
Yeah, I do, but I feel like despite that, they still have like really dimes guys like fucking Zemnis and Lingering Will. So, is my mic dying again? I'm trying.
No, you're good. I don't know what Euclid is talking about. He's
yeah, okay.
He's kind of trolling you. But let's go back to the super chats.
Yeah.
Where were we? Nipa Lover 92 with the 100 pesos. Cuando entrara Gohan Blanco?
Esto es el fin el marar de Jiren?
Sí. Intern Kun sends 2 E-Tanks. Can anyone beat Airman?
Well, the thing is, there's actually one person who can beat Airman, and that's Woodman. But you also can't beat Woodman. Now, this would be easy to do if you could go to Heatman. However, those fucking wooden blocks make it impossible. And item 2 would make it easier to go for the wooden blocks. But to get item 2, you need to beat Airman. So you can see the vicious cycle that we are trapped in.
Yes. Mega Man 2 is indeed a metaphor for the Sisyphean aspect of life.
Yeah, and obviously, like, there's no other option than to just power through. It's not like there's like one weapon that just completely obliterates the entire game. Because that would be impossible.
Right. Well, I mean, there is the metal blade.
No. You that who needs that? There's no need for that. No one would possibly consider doing that ever.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. We've got Freedom Fries who redeems the Alucard Warzone skin. Has the death of Captain Soap affected the mental state of Captain Price prior to his arrival to TFR?
I mean, no one's been able to talk to Captain Price. Now, his arrival has been teased, numerous times in the past. many times, many times. But ever since the death of Soap, it's been pushed back. We haven't even been seeing the vignettes since that happened. So that's how serious it's been on Price. No one, I think he's in that same like metaphorical realm of being lost as Leon and where Sahara was before. But in that sense, he could appear tomorrow. He could maybe never appear. But you know, God only knows, and God can only hope that Price will arrive to TFR or AEW as Soap did.
We can only dream. All right, we're gonna take one more super chat. We've got. Hold on, let me scroll here. We've got you 251 with the Ribera Steakhouse jacket, and he sends us a song. He sent us a song.
Oh, another great song.
This is gonna be
so
great.
nice of him. Just so I'm just so grateful to see all these people creating these songs.
On the juice, big time.
Let's listen to it.
Bird's least disgusting fetish.
The fucking link is lagging. God damn it! Can't sing it up.
All right, well, hold on. Don't play the song yet.
Oh no! Oh, how could this be?
Wait, no,
this
I'm lagging.
Absolutely disgusting.
Well, what is it? My song is like, oh God, no!
Yeah.
No, okay, I caught up.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Why would you send that?
That is disgusting. That is sickening, revolting, devious
Mods,
behavior.
can we deal with that? I'm keeping the Ribera Steakhouse, but
Mods, Precious MF's balls. Thank you.
The problem is now we have to follow that up with possibly the darkest hour in wrestling history.
Yeah,
in AEW history at the very least.
I was counting on fan support for what happened next, and now I'm just absolutely unprepared for.
We can't postpone it anymore. Let's talk about it. We've been talking about it so much throughout the show. Let's finally air our grievances right now. Our worries, our concerns, our fears, and our thoughts on what's to come. Hunk,
I think that
has left AEW.
He's gone. He's walked. Like, and no 60-day suspension, no contract dispute. He's gone. So let's take a step back and think about how we got here, because Merrick came back, after the incident before, and Hunk was apparently not consulted, despite his pull in AEW. To see this occur without his knowledge, I think Amakusa had to know it was a possibility, but I think that if Merrick had maybe been more of a man about it, if he just said if you have a problem, let's settle it in the ring. The way he went about it, oh, you got the Fed stink, you're old, cry me a river. I think that's when Hunk realized that he wasn't going to get a satisfactory response no matter what. So just to see him, and so Hunk got a hold on him, and Merrick couldn't get out of it. I'm just trying to think of ways that we could have avoided this just despicable, horrible timeline where Hunk is no longer wrestling bangers on AEW. Maybe if Merrick had put up more of a fight, Hunk would have been able to respect him in some way. But we've put over the wrestling prowess of the Pillars before, and it didn't seem like he was able to stack up. So there's only so much you can do. And can we talk about poor Amakusa, who allegedly had a stack of monitors fall on top of him due to this horrific incident? A 19 by 20 1080 monitor falling on your head, it's basically like a cinder block. He feared for his life. He comes to wrestling shows
I would too.
To have fun. Like all the monitors, like it was like an avalanche, just through the power of this altercation. And it's sickening to see this happen on such a great show as Forbidden Door, and there was nothing they could do to rectify they tried. They got Nero in there. We'll cover that match later, and the lack of consistency that match had, but I feel like, I'm sorry to say, I don't think this would have happened in TFR.
Really?
Because
I mean,
prime situation.
first,
Okay, because in Gorilla, like you have guys, after their match they hang out there. Before their match, they're in there, like doing warm ups, doing stretches. If Hunk's back there and he has beef with someone, you like, but even like in current TFR, like there's no Pegasus, there's no Chris Redfield. I'm just trying to think about like who could have. I feel like there would have been someone back there who could have like asked Hunk to like say, "Hey man, just calm down. You don't want to throw away your whole contract over this."
Well, I do have some sources of my own who did say that Zoom was just in the corner of the room when it all happened, and he didn't seem to care. I don't know if you have any comments on that.
I mean, Zoom, he doesn't talk much. He's a real shooter. If he had like gone for the save, maybe that may have just like a real shooter like Zoom, neutralizing Hunk in that situation. He might have been like, "Oh, okay, I'm in over my head here." But the fact that Merrick just had no response to that vicious headlock just kind of vindicated. Like I believe he called AEW and Yamakushi just clowns.
Yes, they said it was a clown.
And not the horrifying ones like Hisoka. Like Hisoka would have stopped Hunk. Bungie World would have prevailed in that situation.
Yes,
so I'm sorry to say that.
No, go on.
I'm saying like AEW kind of. I don't want to say they did it to themselves, but like I feel like when you have Hunk in there, he's a real badass. So you got to know it's a possibility.
Well, we know it's more than a possibility at this point.
Oh yeah, I was saying like if you've got to have some kind of countermeasure in there, but they did not. They had no such thing.
And now we live in the fallout.
We do. You say we live in fallout. I have died over this. I have died every day waiting for Hunk to come back.
But he's not going to come back.
Hunk, he's gone. And I don't know. The industry has suffered for this. Despite all the good that AEW has done, for the indie scene, for the contracts of wrestlers,
for the Japanese, even for the Japanese.
For they gave them rants, so G1 is going to be like on the upturn finally, with rants in their G1. But I can't believe I'm saying this. AEW has done something to hurt wrestling.
I actually got chills when you said that. I didn't think it would. Those words would ever be said.
Bone-chilling words, but that's the world we're living in.
Unbelievable.
I have no more words.
Jamie, pull that tweet up right now. Just without context, pull that tweet up right now.
Yes.
And then we'll go on to our next segment because I want to move on with a laugh, and then we can hopefully move. Well, we can't move on because there's another like backstage segment about that.
Yeah. I don't know what he meant by this. I mean, he is Pakistani, so.
It's so extract.
Amir is back. Is that what he's saying? That's
Holy
Amir, brother.
shit! That would be insane. I would absolutely watch AEW again. The feeling would be restored if they got Amir. I'll say that right now.
What a yummy entrance he has.
Yes. That would truly be an explosive toy.
The twin towers of the pillars would come crumbling down in the presence of Amir.
Truly, it would be a war It would be a war on bangers, and that would be a great storyline, right?
Positively nuclear. Or maybe not, but we'd have to check first.
Let's move on to our next match. Let's hopefully
Yes,
let's try to have a feel good moment before we have to come right back to the Hunk incident.
I think this was a feel good moment. You know, one of the better highlights of the night. We got, you know, the buzz off. I could not think of two guys more qualified to get in that ring and wrestle each other. This was. I think that Apollo gets bonus points for, you know, managing to like get that visual plea upset, you know, after all build up, and you know that was definitely like a smarter match. This might have been like the banger of the night.
It was a true banger, and I can't believe I'm saying that considering Fred Jones is there.
Perk Jones, you know, Fred Jones, you know, maybe that guy could have, you know, gotten more Fed Sting off it. Perk Jones just Fed Sting to the core, but you know, I guess maybe, you know, Lancer is so experienced and so, you know, skilled. You know, he wouldn't die that easy in the ring.
It was just finisher after finisher after finisher in this match.
Yeah, it's like compare this match as finisher spam to Alucard versus Terry finisher spam. I think that's the best way we can talk, because like I think in terms of like if you like go 15 minutes and then hit the first finisher, it feels like an oh boy, here we go kind of thing. If that doesn't end it, but like this match was going, you know, 100 miles an hour. Like okay, that German into the crowd. I don't know what kind of safety standards they have for the fans there, but they broke them tonight, and it was awesome. Just absolutely brutal moment in an already brutal match. These two were going pound for pound, hit for hit. You know, Perk managed to evade one gay bolg, which you know it's an unavoidable blow. You know, so
Yes.
no
one has ever escaped the gay bolg ever.
Never ever. And even after that, you know, he had to rely on rope breaks in order to like survive such a deadly maneuver. But you know, he hit Germans, he hit perk salts, he hit Coolsville slams, he hit avalanche Coolsville slams, and it felt like at any moment they could have put each other away. You know, I'm getting the sickness of the Hunk incident is evaporating from my body because of this match. Like I can look at this and like have some hope for wrestling when I see this match. And I mean, like,
Can we
this
just
wasn't
escape?
Extreme Rules. Yeah.
We need to escape the Hunk incident before it just more dead air happens. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying, like,
Please
this is the
continue
match that
to
makes us.
compliment this match
Yeah.
because I just don't have the spirit.
Yeah, so at one point, you had actually a second time that Perk managed to dodge the undodgeable Gable. Actually, well, to be fair, when he caught it into a DDT, Gable didn't miss. He just succeeded at hitting the mat. So technically, still undodgeable. And to be fair, you know, when Perk kneed him in the head, I think that was just Gable connecting with his knee. So undodgeable, undefeated. What a buzz off!
It was a pretty good banger, considering it was sandwiched between two major incidents.
Yeah, I feel like if anything else had happened, if any other match on the card had happened in this spot, we would have been like devastated. So this match succeeded at like, you know, keeping us afloat to make Forbidden Door, you know, a good show.
Yeah, especially. Yeah.
I mean, like you could have like if you have like 4 bangers in a row and then 4 bad matches in a row, you think the show's bad. If you have like banger, bad match, banger, bad match, bad match, bad match, banger, you might walk away from the show feeling happy. So the formatting of the card does depend, you know, on the quality of the show. So
Yes.
even after the incident, and next up was the fallout. You know, seeing Amakusa speak and had Nero's thoughts on the matter, because we all want to hear Nero talk about everything every week.
Yes, of course.
So he claims that AEW would be better off without Hunk because he doesn't mesh with the talent.
Right.
Okay. Who wouldn't you trade on the AEW roster to get Hunk back?
Who wouldn't I or would I trade?
Who wouldn't you trade? Sign right now. What?
Like if I had to, if it was like I need to get Hunk back now and I need to make a choice.
But who would I not give up?
Well, obviously I wouldn't give up the Pillars.
You wouldn't give up Merrick?
I don't know. I mean, we have yet to hear the
Like,
full
that's
story, but Merrick is a young talent. He's important to the company.
Yeah, but
You know.
like the best thing about the Pillars is that there's 4 of them, and I think that Steve Burnside, Eugene, and Pepino are so good. I think 3 Pillars could hold up the company. And now we have the new Pillars, so that's even more Pillars. That's like 8 Pillars.
Are you going to make a statement? Are you going to make a case where you think that we should have lost Merrick instead of Hunk?
Do you think that keeping Merrick would be worth TFR getting Hunk this Friday? Just the industry, they just got Arasado, which kind of opened that forbidden door. To see them get Hunk back, what do you think that does about AEW's perception within the industry?
Well, if everything is as exactly as it looked from what we saw, then yes, TFR getting Hunk back is going to send shockwaves throughout the entire industry.
So I'm saying, like, if
there's something that we don't know, if there's something that we don't know, something that could be like, say, damning evidence against Hunk, then Hunk's value as a wrestler and a person sky plummets.
It do be sky plummeting if it exists. But the thing about Hunk is he doesn't really like scheme in the sense of like he goes behind your back. He just kind of asks for things and they happen. So I think he airs his dirty laundry and then he doesn't lie. I was like, yeah, I told you I wanted to drop that title and you did. I think Hunk's kind of the one who says, cry me a river. So maybe having that thrown back on him was the moment he said, like, this is too much for me. I can't do it anymore.
Right.
I think Hunk felt like what it felt like to be Hunked in that moment. So, you could say that's Merrick's fault. You could say that's Amakusa's fault. But I'm just saying, like, who on the AEW roster, like, is more valuable than Hunk? Masai Hara is one of them. Obviously. Masai Hara killing it right now. I would not give up Masai Hara to get Hunk back. I feel like at that point, it's bird sailed. Who else? Virgil? Let's think about that. Because, Hunk is not the best promo in, the world, but I think he cut a better promo than Virgil did the other week, so...
Virgil cuts a good promo, but at the same time, I think that's kind of obvious.
Does he have the aura of Hunk, as a JJK fan would say? Where's the aura?
Right.
So
I don't think he does.
I mean, we don't have to go into like everyone we would or would not take over Hunk because I think it's a very short list. But I'm just saying, you look at the Pillars and you look at Hunk, and I'm saying, like, how is Merrick gonna go forward with this? And like, is he gonna sink, or is he gonna swim?
Right. And there's only time will tell. We'll have to see next week when I'm not going to be available to see.
I mean, that's true. So I will. You will be with us in spirit.
In spirit.
Yeah. But we were talking about Amakusa and Nero. Nero believed that AEW would be better without Hunk, and Juza actually disagreed. He did not think that wrestling was great for a moment without Hunk, because, like he said, like, he has devoted so much card time that could be going towards Chris and, Steve Burnside and all these yummy bangers for the sake of Hunk.
Hold on. We have breaking news. We have breaking news. Jamie, pull it up right now. We have absolute breaking news from insiders. What is your response to that?
I think that this is a powerful visual plea to what Tony Khan has just tweeted. So,
to what
could Joe Biden be all elite? Could he be all elite? If tomorrow 9/11,
it's entirely possible.
tomorrow I'm doing 9/11. The Forbidden Plane is flying
Good
in.
promo. Good.
Promo's good. Okay.
The very foundation
Why did he do it?
of this
Why did he do
superpower
it?
is going to change.
TSA may never be the same again.
Let's go to the next match.
Up, we had a battle royale that wasn't actually a battle royale for most of the match because it turned into a 1v1. TNA is so back, and I'm so happy to see it.
I could not agree more. This is a very TNA match, and I loved every second of it.
You know, like I want to see a King of the Mountain match in TFR. That's my dream. That's my wrestle dream.
And it happened.
No, this is a battle royale where 5 people eliminated themselves and turned into 1v1s. This is something we're seeing some shit we haven't seen before. But you know, you look at the lineup. We have Komaeda, you know, Hope Man, one of the more prominent underperformers. But you know, we also have, you know, Liu Kang winning. I feel like you have to have, you know, a G1 guy in that position. I thought it would be Soul Bad Guy. Do you think that his involvement in, you know, these Dante promos might have affected his, you know, ability in this match?
I think being near Dante in the first place has a direct interference with your intelligence. What does IQ stand for?
Insane Quillfoth.
Oh my goodness. I
Yeah.
think we've cracked the code.
Yeah.
Get the president on the line before he does 9/11.
Yeah, this is going to change everything. But you know, Soul Bad Guy from G1 and Kira Jesus Yamato not taking it home. Very interesting, considering that man is incapable of losing anything ever. But you know, maybe like the Sneed movie just came out, and that was not enough to like kind of keep him going. So Liu Kang, let's see how he does. But yeah, this didn't feel like a great match. I dare I say
It was a fun
but,
match, and that was what was important about it.
Yeah,
They had
everyone
fun.
had fun. But someone who did not have fun, unfortunately, our man Battler, man, he's having a rough time.
He's having a very rough time. We're going to transition right into that, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think so. So,
But oh boy.
last week,
well, first we got to talk about the G1 bracket.
We do. So let's look at the breakdown here. Right off the bat, we know that King is in, you know, B block, so already like everyone in B block is on notice for who's going to be able to like possibly outscore King. And King already won. You know, the first week happened and King already won his first match, so we're already like getting on a King wins Lol momentum. You know, like I'm looking at anyone else who looks in B block, you know, like Kai Kiske, Duke Nukem. I'm looking at guys who did not win and Forbidden Door, and I'm wondering, you know, who's going to be the one to stand up to King. And also Rance is in B block, so very interesting. I think A block is kind of like the story here, because, you know, what we got
It's
all
more
three Young
interesting,
Lions,
for sure.
and that's we've got Johnny Cage in, you know, Solid Snake, someone who's been around multiple industries, you know, TFR, you know, in the past, so he could kind of sneak into that block. I'm very interested to see how this is going to turn out, but you know, I think B block is kind of like a lock, no Seraph. But you know, Johnny Cage, you know, we're saying like, oh, we hope a young lion is going to succeed. Johnny Cage, dominant victory over Battler, no rules, no ref, just backstage brawl.
Would you say it was a victory? Would you more say that Johnny Cage beat the shit out of him?
He beat that shit out of him, but he
beat the shit out of him after putting the shit out of himself.
Yeah, so I'm saying he KO'd him with one pure super kick. So, you know, maybe like Battler is, you know, maybe he shouldn't have big leagued him. You know, maybe he should have picked his battles more carefully.
Right.
considering their history, because they've wrestled before, and Johnny Cage was victorious in that match too, I believe. So,
Yes.
Battler, great wrestler, great mind, maybe getting a bit too confident, especially after last week when he was kind of exposed that, in the right circumstances, Battler can't win. So, I don't know. I think he needs to be. I don't think this is gonna I don't want to take him out of the top 3. I think that would be blasphemous, but I feel like it's going to be hard to put him back into his number 1 spot after suffering such a brutal defeat. I think that's the best way to put that.
Yes, for sure. It's a very shitty situation.
It's the shits.
Yes,
it's a shitbag situation.
The shit hit the fan, and he's shit out of luck.
Shit. But that was just one little altercation within G1. There's a lot of moving parts right now. Got to stay on top of it. Staying up 20 hours a night to watch G1. But with so many good wrestlers, ready to go in G1, I'm sure that Amakusa wishes he had one of them on hand to. Well, that's not fair, because I don't think this was Nero's fault this next match, but things were definitely not great in this match.
No, they were not great. You could tell this match was hastily thrown together at the last minute, but there was nothing else you could do.
Because Kubi goes in thinking he's going to wrestle Hunk, and I think he prepared because he was prepping to take neck breakers, and instead he was taking cross Spartas. So I think that explains why he kicked out of 8 of them. Because he did. I think that Nero has improved his tool set with this change to his persona and general style compared to before. But maybe that's just from an aesthetic. But Nero hasn't lost in a while. I think his record is actually pretty solid. But maybe the number of cross Spartans he hits is the answer behind that. Because maybe it's 8 big hits is a more statistical chance than 2-3 big hits.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe there's some
I don't have much to say about this
wrestling
match.
Science behind that, but it you could feel that you want to talk about if Hunk was worth it. I think the absence of Hunk in this match kind of proves that he does still have value to this company.
Right.
But I don't want to look down on Nero for this because I know he can do better. I know he is a superstar, but this was not the way to go.
No. But again, I have to say, can you fault them? This match was put together very quickly, to try to fix the issue that the Hunk situation would have left, which is you have a guy who was booked and has no opponent now. So they had to give him something.
Yeah. I understand why they struggled, but we gave them the benefit of the doubt before going in, and they still didn't manage to get it to a level of meeting our expectations. So I think that's a fair assessment.
Right.
Yeah. So
we could probably move on.
They gave it their best. Yeah. I'm trying to think of memorable spots, and besides the 8 cross Spartas, there really wasn't that much. I don't want to say that Nero is deteriorating as a performer, but I just feel like he's missing a blade to sharpen his own.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, next up we have a Saihara birthday promo package or video package where it's just going over, indie footage and promos over the years, from before even TFR. And I know you don't have I know you don't have a little picture package ready for that, but I thought it was worth mentioning because it was part of the show, and it was also his birthday. It was also his birthday, so we need to celebrate. Because if we don't celebrate each other, how can we celebrate ourselves and wrestling as a whole?
Yeah, and I mean, Saihara has just been so on top of thinking about Saihara, it is you can feel the aura of Saihara encompassing me as we head into this next segment. It's just You know, is next to me now. You know,
I know exactly
do you
what you
feel
mean.
it? Yeah, yeah. So, um, I feel like you know, maybe we want to talk about like this week. You know, we were waiting for him to like say yo and like do his little yo dance. You know, a beautiful cracker dance. And maybe we've been haven't been able to look past that to see how beautiful Saihara really is. And I feel like Max Saihara has done a great job of bringing that into the limelight. I don't know. It seems insane to say that like Saihara could get any better, but who knows?
I mean, there's always room to improve, even for someone like Saihara.
You think so? You think Saihara could get better?
the ghost of Cyrus appeared before us. Holy shit!
Oh yo!
Can science explain what we just saw? Can science explain what we just saw? Are you okay?
Yo,
First of all, are you okay?
I'll fight my fears and dry my tears.
Okay. I'm glad that's over. Did we see that? Was
Alright,
that are we under is our magic skeleton hallucinating thanks to chemical imbalances in our brain?
You say skeleton. I want to say yo after not surviving. So did we just say yans?
Yams.
Yans. Yo after not surviving.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what to put up.
Yeah, I can't say Sans. I can't say Saihara after not surviving because that's just Sans. But I miss Sans. But
He was
that's
so
for another
powerful.
time. One day when we get into fantasy booking, we're gonna circle back to Sans. But that's neither here nor there. But what was next up was the only person who could possibly compete with Sans, in that detective spot. We have our man Date. We all went in thinking he was going to lose again.
And of course, when we finally want him to lose, he wins.
And he just won.
Walk us through this
The
match
actual
if
match-
you even remember anything.
No. Because I feel like the fact that Date won overshadows the match itself, but it actually flowed pretty. Because like I was saying this, like Date is not a bad worker just because he loses. Like his matches, he's not like an all-time great. He's not like putting on a 5-star banger, but I can think of like plenty of really good Date matches. He just doesn't have to win any of them. But
But he's
like we've
known
seen
for
Zach,
being the funny guy that loses, so
yeah, and Zach's win record was not. It hasn't been low. Maybe like there's been a change since Zach took over York. Maybe he's changed up his style, gotten a bit more aggressive. So we weren't expecting him. I think Date is also someone who's trying to innovate because he was hitting these, standing swantons. Very dangerous move. I would not want to be on the receiving end of one of those. And he was just throwing them out there. But it is unfortunate that like the one time we want Date to lose, he wins. So
you glossed over. We both glossed over this, but there was a promo. There was a promo before this match started, and can I ask this question? Is Date a retard? He's met Zach before, hasn't he? He would know he's FBI.
Yeah,
or am I imagining things? Did they not meet before?
I feel like did they meet before season 8 or during season 8?
I felt like there was
Okay,
a moment.
Did he meet York? And like now, and he
Might have
thought
met
Zach
York.
was
That might be
someone
where my
else?
confusion is.
Okay, but then also like everyone else kind of gets the memo that like York and Zach are kind of like in the same. So to answer your question, I think Date is still a retard in that regard. But I guess it worked out for him in the end.
I mean, it's just it's a gimmick change, and that too. I could have sworn. A subscriber Yo points out, was it Date and Angel Board? I'm pretty sure there was a section where Zach was in Angel Board, wasn't he? Wasn't there?
Yes. Well, was because like Date goes there a lot. I don't think he's there like every waking second. Because like he has a job.
I
don't
think you're correct. I'm going to be honest with you.
You think his job would allow him to work from Angel Mort? You think they have a remote program or no?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. They were in the same place, but Zach left after Date entered, I think.
Yeah.
It was Charles and Jacopo that talked to them. Or that talked to Date.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, so I understand Date not getting the memo maybe, but he's still not like the sharpest tool in the shed. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, Date is special, for sure.
He's our big boy.
He is, and he's also a mega bitch for ruining the standing of our win-loss ratio in the season. But that's not here nor there. What?
It's so positive, right? Oh, Jesus Christ. You know what? I take it back. Date, what the fuck? I can't believe you'd do this to us.
Let's just move on. We can do super chats again. Yeah, that was our third checkpoint.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
We got a $5 GameStop store credit from the Jeffrey Keith, who asks, is there any credibility to the reports that certain talented victory laps in the ring at a recent show, an AEW show that is, after the Hunk situation? What's the atmosphere backstage at AEW right now?
I mean, you say certain individuals or certain talent. I think I had sources that it was 2, so I would believe that like if Merrick had someone else to do it with, he would. But in that case, if I don't know who the other one was, who else would we?
So you don't know
with Merrick specifically? Afraid so. But I'm saying like who in AEW besides Merrick would be happy to see Hunk gone specifically, to the point where they would do such an unprofessional act on in front of all 10 of the fans on that house show.
Right. And that's a pretty big house show too. So for AEW standards.
Oh, of course. But because like who would it be? Nero? Because he did express belief that he was happier Hunk was gone, but I don't think he would be like.
I don't think Nero would be running around doing victory laps. That's not in his character.
I think he would do it for right based on their history, because I think that would be like to the level of like he would be so happy to see him gone. I don't think he has beef like that with Hunk.
Yeah, I agree in that. I agree with that.
Yeah, so I can see it from Eric. Don't know who else.
Is there more you have to say, or can we move on to the next super chat?
I mean, like I'd say, like my sources are scattered on that one. I have to look into it, but I can believe for Merrick. I don't know about anyone else. If talent means multiple people.
I mean, we might get an answer at the next Dynamite. They could show footage. This could be part of an angle.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Entered Kun with $4.99. Amakusa feared for his life. Didn't he work with Okanogi? I find that hard to believe. This might just be a work.
Well, I think he never feared for his life because he worked with Okanogi. Like having him in his corner like that always made him feel safe and secure at wrestling events. So like maybe if Okanogi was here, that's someone else could have like neutralized the situation, made Hunk back down. But without him, it felt like his life was in danger. So I think that explains that.
Okay, we've got Vicious with, I don't even know what currency that is, but he sent 20 of it. Between the recent incident and his frankly declining performance, is it finally time for Hunk to hang it up and for good and retire?
Okay, you say declining performance, like How you know? Because like I don't think Punk's like he was in the ring with Dante and he still managed to like try to piece something together. You know, yeah we one of the first matches we reviewed for AEW was Hunk versus Green Knight from Castle Crashers. That was a good match. You know, I think Hunk has the ability to have a good match with anyone and hit in that style. So you know, as long as his body is like holding up, I think he can keep going. I would love to see him. Obviously back to TFR. You know, I made illusions that maybe G1, what dream matches those would be. But until then, you know, I think he's going to go to the wheels fall off.
He's just kind of that kind of guy. I have to agree. He clearly loves what he's doing. He loves getting paid.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing. Maybe we will get to the point where like he has deteriorated to the point where he can't go as he used to do, and I think he'll still be wrestling just for the paycheck because he doesn't care.
Right. But we'll see if he even gets in a wrestling ring again.
He could maybe like even if he could still physically go, maybe just like having to deal with Merrick has made him reconsider his ability to wrestle.
Right.
Or if it's worth it.
All right, we got 4 perk beans from Intern Coon. I think Perk Jones finally has that Fed stank off of him. Do you agree?
I mean, very interesting considering that happened in the Buzz off. You know, because like that, you know, Buzz is kind of like I wouldn't say Fed stink core, but like it seemed like they didn't do any moonsaults. They didn't do any shooting star, double rotation, Phoenix splashes through tables and then kip up. So they could have been a bit less Fed stink, but I think it's just that like Lancer, you know, he's in Japan, so he's such a great worker that he made it work.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because like Perk he's had plenty of opportunities to kind of like turn it around, and you know he's struggled to do that ever since entering AEW. So I wouldn't go as far as say that the Fed stink is off of him, but I think it just worked out well with the perfect opponent.
Next is Neepa 92 sends 1 yen. Would Lancer die if you killed him?
Just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right.
I think that's very eloquently put.
Yeah. You know, if you dodge his undodgeable blow, then, you know, he might die when he's killed. But it might be because he's in such unperfect condition that he would be in such perfect condition.
Right.
You know, he's a Lancer in the same way that, like, you'd wonder why a Berserker would go Berserk.
Right. The Archer class really is made up of archers, too, when you think about it.
They sure are.
All right. We've got OP with 1 bottle of lube, and I'm not going to read that. I don't think anyone wants to hear that. But no.
I'll read it.
No.
Okay. I think Claire versus Red should be a 3 stages of hell, Brian Penny spit swapping makeup match, chocolate pudding match. What do you think? I think if you swap Claire for Fee, I'm in there. As it is, shut the fuck up.
I had to take a deep breath after that one.
Yeah.
Naran Lemedici sends the blood of his first newborn son. When are you going to do retrospectives on old TFR seasons? That's actually funny that you bring that up.
Yeah, because like we're doing watch-alongs as we go. I think we'll try to do them some weeks. You know, if we have like an 11-hour show, we'll do our best to try to squeeze them in. But in terms of like looking back, in terms of like seasons as a whole, if you guys send questions asking about it, we'll talk about it for a little bit. You know, so
we will. We proved that last week.
Oh yeah, but like in terms of like a real like sit down retrospective, I want there to be eventually like a full watch along marathon of like a whole season. Because like season 1 is like 3 episodes of like one. Like 3 episodes of season 8 is like all of season 1, I think. Yeah,
yes.
It's 8 episodes. Yeah, in terms of like, because they're all like 2 hours, and like this episode was 11 hours, sir. So like, if it's 8 episodes and it's 2 hours, that's 16. So like one mid-length season 8 episode, all of season 1.
Those
I would love
episodes
I
work
would love
pretty
to go
short.
back and like see it as a whole, see how like the booking is held up, see how certain matches have held up, not just like individually like we did with Hunk Battler and like we might do tonight, but as a whole, I think there's always more to talk about and like what lessons we can learn from the past going forward.
I think it would be a fun thing to do, and I'm completely up for that. That's my comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all
Date?
the super chats we have,
Yeah.
so we can
Uh,
move on.
Yeah. So
Up next, we have another Zach promo immediately after that match.
yeah. So we embrace the unknown this week. You know, the deaths of Frieza and Bowser were revealed. You know, heartbreaking tragedies for Slurpza. I feel like slowly this story is coming together. You know, I think Corleone is an interesting addition to this investigation web. You know, I don't know. I'm not saying he has mob involvement because his last name is Corleone, but I'm just saying, you know, anything could happen.
Do you think Zach is getting any closer to solving this case?
I think he's getting closer on his own than he was getting with the squad, which is sad to say because, like, you know, we love Charles, we love Manny and Richter, but are they really detectives or are they just like dudes?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But two dudes with attitude. Next up, we had Steve Burnside and, you know, Kai Kiske. This is our
Manny
main
is
event
definitely
right
a
here.
detective. Like, let me just clear the air on that right now.
Well, yeah, I'm saying, like, he's going off the evidence that Manny gathered, but I'm saying,
Right.
in that group setting with Charles and Richter, and spending more time, in the boxing ring than,
Oh, I see what you mean now. Okay. I thought
Yeah,
you
like,
asked that like
I'm saying,
literally,
like,
are they detectives?
no, I'm saying, like, in that group, maybe that he's somehow being more effective on his own, but that doesn't matter now because the Thunder King is here against the man with 2 golden lugers. This is our main event.
Luggers.
Yeah, lugers.
Well, it was built up to be a electrifying match, to say the least. And let me ask you: do you think it lives up to that hype that was being built up throughout the entire night as the main event?
One thing that he has a great entrance theme, that Kiske kid.
Sure does.
I mean, like, the fans, they just loved, to sing that song. And, I think that's really important, that the fans had fun.
Of course, that's the most important thing is
Yeah.
that they have fun.
Yeah. I call, when all those fans are singing his song, I call it the roar of the Smark.
Yes.
Yes.
And hear them roar, we did.
Yep. I think
I can't really talk about this match much further, honestly. It was
Steve ran to the wrong side of the ring for a spot and then just kind of ran back to the other side. So I think that kind of exemplifies how this match went in a nutshell. A lot of super kicks, so it had that. So I think we can give it 5.75 stars.
Oh yeah, for a super kick, for sure.
Oh yeah, so 5.75, 10. So 10 golden stars divided by 2. That's 5 stars, and 0.75 on top of that. But was it the 7-star banger we were looking for the main event for Forbidden Door?
For a big
Maybe
pay-per-view like that, no.
Yeah.
It was not a bad match, but it was not the closing match. It should not have been the closing match.
Shoot. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not. I wouldn't imply that this match is making me physically ill, but just
I'm getting
Yeah.
sleepy. I'm getting pretty sleepy
Yeah,
right now. We should talk about that dream
being
match, though.
sleepy. Oh yeah.
We should talk about the dream match while I'm still feeling sleepy.
Yeah. It's like if you get of all the dream matches that I think the man who is involved in most dream matches is Saihara. But
Slipshot McGraw.
if you want, I was getting to that because like there were just Saihara, another master of reinvention. I think Slipshot McGraw was kind of his peak. He embraced like the indie mindset, and I feel like that is why like Slipshot McGraw is kind of like the best version of him. So like, I feel like this was kind of like a coming out party for Tim, in the sense that like we could see how good Tim was if he had the chance to rise.
But that wasn't the whole story, though, was it? Because something else happened.
Oh no, I want to get to that, but like I'm looking at this like this was a flippy affair before we kicked it up a notch, and the winner of this match was
I'll let you figure it out.
which I found somewhat astonishing.
You cut out there. Could you say that again?
What? Okay, well, I think that like Tim winning this 1v1 dream match, even though it was a count out, just implying that Saihara would not Slipshot would not rise to the challenge and go back in there to have more yummy wrestling, seems like this dream match was almost turning into a nightmare until one man made his awe-inspiring appearance. Caden is here.
Holy
the Asian
shit.
Nightmare. High flyer, green in skin, clearly like a well-versed wrestler, but I think this was the scenario that showed like how good Slipshot, because Slipshot won, and
as he always does in my heart.
Yes, but this match was because this match was so powerful. 10 counts could not contain how much yummy bangers they wanted to put on.
Right.
That's the heart that these guys had. Like you could like I was like, oh, count to 5, he's done. That wasn't enough for Slipshot. He wanted to go in there and do more, yummy poison ranas and arm drag, double rotation, split moonsaults. So that I think that showcases just how good Slipshot really was in this scenario with Caden, of course. So I think that's the difference between like a dream scenario and a dream match.
True.
So,
well, regardless of the look at the adjective. Regardless of what it is, there was a pretty
in the dream match.
There was a pretty obnoxious botch in this match committed by the ref, which I think you've already brought up, but I want to just talk about that a little more in detail.
You call it a botch, and I see it as a brave new way to fit more yummy wrestling into one match. Because like then if we thought that someone like Quote was impressive kicking out of pile driver 2, if it's a 10 count to end the match, what do you need someone like Slipshot McGraw? How much damage does he need to take to kick out at 9? The bangerinos are endless. So
in a perfect world, the bangers would be endless, and we would still be in season 1.
Exactly. So I think this is kind of like a dream, a wrestle dream to how good wrestling could be.
But unfortunately, like every other dream, it had to end.
It did have to end, and I woke up unfulfilled. And
this is the moment where I fell asleep, so I didn't actually see this match live.
They hugged in the middle of the ring, which like that for me, I couldn't turn off the stream because I had to see them these young men, just embracing like that. That really like warmed my heart.
Even in our dreams, everyone's having fun, and that's just great. I'm very happy.
It's fun. Yeah, the finish. We can't talk about the finish because it was incomprehensible. I believe that it was a visual plea to how dreams end in real life.
Right, right.
You know, because sometimes it kind of diverges in a direction you're not expecting, and then it just ends. And so when the shadows of the damned dragged Tim and Caden into the void, you know, that was visual plea to a wrestle dream. To me, that's how I interpreted that.
I think that's perfect. That's actually beautiful. You really have an eye for this sort of thing, Meltzer.
Thank you. But
let's move on to our main event, though, so we can end this at a very nice time.
Our seemingly endless main event.
The Endless have arrived. They have arrived. It's finally happened. I am quivering in fear, and I am kneeling. Let's talk about the beginning promo before the match.
Yes, I think that's because we have plenty of time to talk about this match. Plenty of time, but the continuation of Ichiban, probably one of the best storylines going as a whole. Like, I don't think I think Battler at Vesuvio's is like the peak of like a storyline, but you know, week to week in terms of like who is involved and how they're interacting, Ichiban is really like carrying it.
It's been such a fun journey for them, and I don't mean that in the ironic AEW we're having fun. I mean legitimately fun.
Yeah. Agnes, what a huge enter. The last good Devil May Cry rep finally scooped up.
He's here. Well, I mean, I forgot his name and I feel embarrassed. And I'm not going to say his name because then people are going to laugh at me.
The only people who might laugh at you are the inflooding of bots into the chat. You know, I mean, if they paid their $15.99, I say let them speak. But, you know, of all the bots that it tried to impress this week, I think Gray Fox, sure.
That was a pretty big surprise entrance.
Didn't he die?
Afraid so.
No. Like he died in this match. Like didn't he like die in G1? Like I remember that happening.
You know, it's been so long.
Yes, he did die. But he got better.
He got better. Yes,
he got better.
Kind of interesting that we are going into the Extinct Light storyline is kind of intersecting here. I never thought I'd hear about Super Black Neck, Super Blacked again in a serious manner, but I was surprised, and it happened.
I mean, it was such an insane impact on Colesville Hills. I was ready for it to, because like every copy of TFR, every TFR season is personalized, you know. So like the villain doesn't just like disappear. You know, there are ripples and butterfly effects that occur, and you know, look at what happened to Date and the Prince based on their altercations in TEL. I think it's had a profound impact on them. So, but to see like the remains of SSB, SS,
just say
Nash,
the full name. Give him respect.
Super Black Nash, Super Black. You know, I was it was out of the back of my mind, but maybe like in my deepest, darkest desires, I was waiting for him to come back in like some capacity.
Well, I mean, it's partially you got your partially you got your wish. There, I said it corrected there. I couldn't speak there.
Yeah.
I'm too busy thinking about the banger, the absolute fucking banger that happened after this promo ends.
Oh yeah, so this was a lot. This was like 15-minute match. 3v3 eliminations. You know, in the end, it was Ichiban and Arc against Gray Fox. Like I said, that's why he really like carried the match. And Arc continues to be kind of like the MVP of this party. You know, despite her, seeming like you want to talk about Forbidden Door. Still, no one expected her to ever be here. So once Ichiban went down, you know, it did become essentially a G1 versus G1 match, but we were still like so behind Arc as like a member of this party that, you know, I think she really succeeded at the finish itself was. I think he got like hit once and then died.
Classic Gray
He,
Fox.
she,
Gray Fox.
yeah, she slammed his leg. Yeah, was slamming the leg of Gray Fox a visual plea to his Metal Gear Solid 1 death? Because that's how he dies in MGS1. So
you mentioned it in your
Powerful
little
visual
talk, but
play.
I am very glad that Ark is part of this party. It's just been so, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to use this word again. It's just been so fun. So I agree with you. This is definitely the best currently ongoing storyline. It's going to have to be, it's absolutely going to win an Observer Award for sure. Like, there's no question about it. It's definitely going to be the best storyline of the year.
Yeah, but like I said, like maybe best segment of the year. The murder investigation, the cake investigation at Vesuvio's storyline of the year.
No. Best segment of the
Definitely,
year. Best segment of the year is going to Jack and Chai. Like, there's no question.
You think that's better than like peak Battler, with Shiki, with like that? You think it's better than the list of drinks?
It's going to be a close fight. It's going to be a close fight.
Okay.
It's going to be a close fight. But I truly believe in the bottom of my heart that the Jack and Chai segment was just absolutely incredible and hysterical. Even, I'm going to say it, even more so than the list of drinks.
Wow. Okay. Actually, I wasn't expecting that. That's a bold assertion, because I thought that was like the pinnacle. At that point, I thought that like G1 Battler finally surpassed Bands in terms of quality, because like because Bands was like the pinnacle of TFR. Like that was the moment it all like really changed. But he didn't have as many bangers. So,
but okay, you have to think about it from my point of view, okay? The list of drinks, that whole like investigation segment was incredible. It was amazing. It was by far.
Wait a minute. What did you vote, Danny?
What?
What did you vote? Were you a one god or were you a three chud?
Oh no, I was absolutely a one god. Yes.
Are you sure about that?
What are you getting at?
Do you have your receipts? Do you have your receipts? Can you prove that you were?
I don't have it on me right now. I don't have it on me right now.
Because I do. I actually do have the evidence.
Well, and you don't need to bring it up. You really don't need to bring it up.
Yeah, but I'm gonna look at this here.
I was in the middle of having a conversation about my thought process on the Observer Awards, and now you're just kind of.
Yeah. So the 3-1 gods were Internkun, Triple Dimes, and me. So Cry Me a River. Actually, and Master of Osmus 1992. So yeah. So you the threes, we the ones. So I think that might explain your position on the Vesuvio segment. But
well, if you let me finish my sentence before going on an absolutely autistic rampage.
Okay, well, you call it autistic, but it's the truth. I'm telling the people the truth here.
Is it true?
It is true. The threat is real.
Can I talk about my position, my stance, my position on the Vesuvio lore?
Yes, but you will do so from the perspective that you were not a moonshine chud.
You could suck my fucking dick.
Cry. You know what? Cry about it. Cry me a river.
You're so glad I can't physically see you. I'd put you in a chokehold right now.
And you know what? You know what I would do? I would knock some monitors over, and they would fall on OP. So, Bob.
Can I? I'm giving my point of view now. I'm not going to let you stop me. Okay. Vesuvio segment was amazing. It was the peak. Dare I say it, the peak of this season. I'm going to let you digest that right now.
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
That is true.
Far?
No, you are correct.
However, there were technical difficulties throughout that entire segment, and you cannot claim otherwise.
Okay. Do you think that fucking nonstop ass rape into the Rempe era menu wasn't the most Kino shit of all time? You're wrong.
It was Kino,
okay?
but we're talking about a live broadcast being broadcasted to either millions or hundreds of thousands, depending on whether it was a TFR or an AEW segment. It was reviewed by so many people that was unacceptable to do. That was unacceptable for that segment to be broadcast like that. You would think that you would think that TNT or USA would have a much better, they would think they would have much more quality programming, quality control, all that kind of stuff.
It made the match better because, like, I have the perfect example. So, like, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 24, the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania, or was it 25 and 26? The first one they did, the one that wasn't Street vs. Career. Taker hits a dive, and Jimmy Snuka's retarded son, doesn't catch him, and Taker sawdusts his neck on the camera. That made the match so much fucking better because it was a completely horrific botch that just added so much to it. If everything is executed perfectly, you don't get Giga Kino. Like, here's another one: Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon. If Kurt doesn't sawdust Shane's neck directly on the concrete because it's real glass, then the segment isn't as Kino when he shoot belly to bellies him through the glass. Real glass, Jenny. Cry me a river.
Okay, here is my counterpoint to that. Here's my counterpoint to that. Are you going to sit here on your ass in the year of our Lord 2024
I'm standing
on live on air and compare Shawn Michaels, compare The Undertaker, compare Shane McMahon, compare Kurt Angle? You're going to compare them to Yukari, to Bartender,
to Artie Bucco? I would.
I'm at a loss for words. You would really compare those four greats, legends even, to Shiro.
I would. In that segment, it worked.
I think it's kind of crazy.
I'm going to call here. It appears that I received a call attempting to silence my truth, my scientific facts that the Vesuvio segment was, best of season 8. So is that all you got to say?
I have no words for you.
I could talk all day because I could defend this and prove you're wrong all day. So if you have no more words, skill issue.
You're comparing old Shinsuke Nakamura to Shawn Michaels in his prime.
That wasn't even the same segment. That was next week when he came out to say he knows about your secret.
Son of a bitch, was it?
Get your facts right. Do your own research. You have no idea what
Okay, OP proved you wrong. OP proved you wrong. OP proved you wrong. Cope, seethe, dilate.
No.
Cope,
I swear to
you're
God.
coping.
It was technically the next night.
But in the lore, it was the same night.
If the episode gets split in half, that's like saying like a night one WrestleMania match is
No.
You're
Not doing that. No. You're not doing that. You're not doing that.
Yes, I am.
You're not doing that. Go to the wiki. Does it say part 2 at the end of that episode? Next to that episode on the wiki, does it say part 1 and part 2, or does it say just episode whatever that was?
Hold on.
Go to the wiki right now.
Okay, I'm getting my notes right now.
Jamie, pull up the wiki right now. Find that episode.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. You like we need the receipts on this.
You're wrong.
Is he? Because like I thought that the segment was great, but like it still involved Chai. I think that's the point of contention here, because like one segment had Battler
You know,
and
you
Shiki and Yukari and Artie Bucco. I love Jack. I love Larius. I think Chai is on the upswing. It's still Chai.
you would not say that
So-
about the Austin 316 promo. You would not say that about the Austin 316 promo.
Yes, I would.
Well, it involved Stone Cold before he was cool. No.
No, no. He is. Who was the best part of the dinner altercation? DEFCON 2.
Who was the best part?
highlight?
Well,
Yes.
there were many highlights. That's my concern. There was
Okay.
Yakko's entrance. There was the truth being revealed about who Yakko is. There was that suspense when the alarm starts, and then just the soul-crushing despair when the second customer hits the restaurant.
Okay. Well,
Right.
I think those are all great. I don't think that compares to peak Battler, fucking Artie Bucco crashing reality from nonstop ass rape. There's no way I put them in the same ballpark.
We can disagree to disagree, but I still think you're wrong.
Okay, well, wash Jubak.
Huh? What do you mean?
Wash Jubak. Okay, how you know?
What were we talking about? Do you remember what we were talking about?
Arsuid versus Gray Fox.
Do you remember at what point we were talking about that, though? Also,
No.
it's Arquid.
Arseid versus Gray
Well, I
Fox.
literally just told you what it was, but okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Why was he timed out? What did OP mean by this?
So that was episode 15.
Yeah, but now all of his
Um,
comments are going to be wiped from the VOD, and now we're not going to have
Oh.
the Kino compliments that we got. No, I'm sad.
Shit, oh man, actually,
Can we agree
That's
to rape and kill OP?
yeah, like where he that doesn't revoke his $15.99, right?
No, it costs $30 for him now. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay. You know what? Let it slide.
Top 3, bottom 3.
Top 3, bottom 3. All right. This is going to be despite having so many.
No. Actually,
Okay.
one more thing.
Talk
We
to-
got to talk
yeah.
about. We got to
Okay.
talk about Waka. We got to talk about Waka. and then can talk about
We
it.
missed. We missed the actual ending of the fucking card.
Yes.
Waka fucking trapped and betrayed them. Except Waka is, yeah. We were too busy talking about fucking Vesuvio's than to talk about the main event promo. Powerful.
Extremely powerful.
Um,
But do you still want Waka to take her clothes off now?
has her physical? Does she? Can I say that on the air or no?
Well, what do you want to say? Incriminate yourself right now.
Does the fact that she's Roa now mean like she now has like?
Don't say it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. No, I know where you're going.
Okay. I think it's a question that we have to ask. Okay. No. Okay.
So it's if I can speak English, it is an inevitability at this point that Battler's storyline and Ichiban's storyline are going to cross fate. Their fates
They're
are gonna cross.
on the way to Japan. We got Shiki, we got Roa, we got Seal and Arc all in one vortex of the what I call it. Would it be the Suki vortex, or what would you call it? I don't know. Okay, if it means she dresses like that, I am 100% there for it. So, let's fucking go. She took the hat off. I think that's a good start.
Top 3, bottom 3.
Top 3, bottom 3. All right.
There was no Beltway this week.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do?
Beltway. Okay, well, just because someone doesn't have a match on the card doesn't mean I still don't think they belong in the top bottom 3. It just means we're judging them based off no addition to themselves. So, Fresh Badness still includes itself on the list in the same way that Fresh Goodness still consists, but has to deal with a Beltway match, which is why I felt physically ill just now.
Yes.
So last week we had Ricky Bobby off of his 11th defense, very dominant match, just what he's doing for the KOJ. No defense this week. I still think, based on the hype he's received, Ricky Bobby top 3, as in number 3.
Oh, where? As in number 3, okay.
As in number 3, I think.
So that
Ricky
means
Bobby,
you were going to say Hisoka number 1, Battler number 2. Is that right?
You read my mind, because Hisoka even without a yummy banger, the way he was able to assert himself. Well, do you think Battler should stay in the top 3 if Ricky Bobby is?
Does one shitty match take Battler out of the top 3?
But he lost last week too.
Did he lose
That's
in
the thing.
embarrassing fashion?
Last week, I would say he did. This week,
but he also won last week as well.
Yeah, but he I mean, well,
and you have to keep in mind, you have to remember the actual G1 show as well.
Oh yes, that's true. Okay, he did win on G1, so okay, so I would keep him in. Okay, so I would put him number 2. In that case, who really shined this week that we would consider supplanting them? Because do we put Hisoka there? I think we were considering
he's the world champion, so it would be a crime to not have him there. However, the match kind of sucked.
Who just beat Jackman in definitive cat? It didn't suck. It was shocking. It was a powerful assertion that the clowns are in control now. I think that if Hisoka gets okay, I don't think Battler is number 1. I don't think Ricky Bobby is number 1. Can I put Hisoka at number 1 without any promos to kind of support?
Well, yeah, you can definitely do that without any problem, because can you name one person who belongs above all 3 of them?
I think the highest performer this week was Apollo Justice, and I would not put him in the top 3.
Exactly. So by default, he would be number 1.
Yeah, but I almost want to put him as a 3-way tie in terms of all right. But if I had to really break it down, Hisoka won this week, Battler lost this week, Ricky Bobby didn't wrestle this week. So, but he won in G1. Okay, damn, that's right. Well, in that case, yeah, okay, I guess it would go Hisoka 1, Battler 2, Ricky Bobby 3.
So that you want to lock that in? Because I don't think there's anyone who is above those 3 right now.
Yeah, the best man of this week was Apollo Justice, but based on his previous performance, Nero is someone we've had our eye on putting on good matches. Last 2 weeks, he's been struggling. Ichiban and Arc, very solid as a group. I don't think any single one of them is carrying that story, which is kind of a testament to how well they work together. But I don't think I could put them in the top 3 yet. And then,
if we were talking, you had to wrestle this week, right? If you absolutely had to wrestle this week, then I would put Gillian in number 3. G1's Gillian Seed.
You think? Okay, to be fair, he is the new Giga Chad champion. But
Yes.
do you think that title means as much as the Forbidden Door nature of the KOJ right now?
Oh yes, but my point is that Ricky Bobby did not wrestle, and if we were considering like people had to wrestle this week, then I would put Gillian Seed there.
The thing is, anyone can win a title. I think
But he did it in such an amazing fashion. I'm not saying to put him there in number 3. I'm saying I would like to see him there, and he would be there if that's how the top 3 would work.
I think that I don't know, because Ricky Bobby right now, he is the championship to beat.
Yes.
So
that's why I'm saying that's why I'm saying that he should be number 3. Ricky Bobby should be number 3. But in any other circumstance, it would be Gillian Seed.
I think that's fair because Gillian, the rest of the match was solid, but he was.
Would you? Okay, how about
match,
this?
So.
Can we agree on a tie then? A draw?
I don't, because I feel like at that point it becomes a slippery slope. In that case, we might as well do a top 5. And
That's fair. That's fair.
I think this guy could be number 6 because week 1. Did you just get shot?
No, I dropped something, and I went to go pick it up, and my mic brushed against the desk.
Okay, I thought you died for a second. Okay, well, but maybe that was warning that we shouldn't mess with the fabric of the top 3.
Right. Okay, I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It kind of stings to not have him up there because there's going to be no other way for him to be in the top 3 at this point.
Well, there's always going to be honorable mentions. Because week 1, we said, we want to put Masai Hara on here, but I don't think he's above what Dante did. And
yes.
I feel like we did kind of toe the line doing that. In a theoretical top 5, I think we could do honorable mentions of guys we consider, but I think keeping the sanctity of the top 3 is important. So
yes,
I'd say Ricky Bobby. If you really I just don't think there's anyone else besides Apollo.
Yeah, well, I can't make a case strong enough to put Gillian above Ricky Bobby based on the current
Apollo.
Nor for Apollo.
If Apollo, if he defends next week or he cuts a killer promo saying he's asserting himself, we might have to consider it based on maybe if Ricky Bobby doesn't wrestle next week again, maybe we could possibly consider that. Apollo
or Bettler loses again.
Powerful. If Bettler loses again, well, if he has a great match and he loses, this was a backstage altercation, like a brawl that he lost. So, it's not like he lost a 5-star match to 5.
Right.
Yeah. So, based on that, wins and losses do need to matter. In that regard, I think this is a solid top 3. I think we can move on to the bottom 3.
We can move on to the bottom 3. Beltway number 1. We're not going to argue against that.
Okay. Beltway didn't wrestle this week. Dante did.
You know what? No, Beltway number 2, specifically because we were spared of having to watch a Beltway match this week. Because we did not have to watch a Beltway match. Beltway number 2.
Beltway number 2. Even the absence of him is still second worst to anyone in the business. But even if it would have to, if there wasn't a specifically awful incident on someone who was already on the bottom 3 last week, I would consider Beltway number 1 again. But Dante absolutely just ruining it right now.
Yes,
I feel like we could slide him into number 1.
We could put him in number 1, Beltway number 2. The question is who goes into number 3.
I feel like we want to default and say Tim. We want to default and say Craig, but
he was funny this week, so I wasn't offended by him.
That's the thing. Because what was the low light this week?
Other than Hunk getting fired? Or not getting fired, rather, quitting.
Ooh. Actually, on that note, do you think Merrick bottom 3? No, he's in that number 3 slot.
I mean, it has nothing to do with his wrestling skill.
But he was in.
But he also caused the biggest tragedy in AEW history.
And here's the thing: that was his championship match. He walked in as the champion. He was out in 60 seconds.
That's true.
And
That's
then
true.
and then he made Hunk leave.
Here's
AEW.
here's what I say then. Are you prepared for a third week in a row where the bottom three is all AEW? Or rather,
Well, who in
majority
TFR
AEW.
Well, last week we put in Quote,
Yes.
and we saw Quote this week, and it was him getting beaten up, so definitely an improvement. But who was the low light of TFR this week?
Uh,
Sorry, I that made me remember. I think seeing Tough Enough lose to the Blacklist Brotherhood was a low light, but I think that's more
but
like
you
a
wouldn't say
booking
that they
thing
were
than-
bad wrestlers.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
least favorite is
Hijiri.
Gene
Hijiri would be the low light in that case.
as a wrestler, but like it wasn't like offensively bad. It was just like a little green, and like that happens a little. Well, not even he was just rusty, which is unfortunate because like he is like a veteran. They called him in for whatever reason. I cannot confirm or deny it was based off of Arasato's signing bonus, but
Well,
I wouldn't put that below.
here's what I think about just
Merrick.
now. Here's what I thought about just now. The problem is like with why there are so many AEW wrestlers getting the bottom three this year, or not this year, but the last few weeks. The problem with that, of course, is that there are just way more AEW matches every week than there are TFR matches. And
Yeah.
that's, thanks in part to, just the long-standing controversy that already exists with TFR, the Jaegerists. There's not much going on in a TFR show compared to an AEW show, so by default, that means there are more bad things happening in AEW. That doesn't mean AEW is bad, because that's
we can
far from
appreciate
true.
the good things when they happen, but we're not going to defend things that. And like I said, the shadow of the Hunk departure has been over this entire review. It's forever an asterisk next to Forbidden Door,
Right.
and the one responsible for that, the one who couldn't even manage 60 seconds in his own title defense,
Was
that's
Merrick.
Joe Merrick.
Yes.
So
I think,
I think, like-
even without the Hunk debacle, that was pretty bad for Merrick. As a talent, as a person.
he managed to do worse than Tim.
And that's a lot to say.
That is
Yeah.
a lot.
Bottom three.
So number
Bottom
one,
three,
worst,
Dante, number one. Beltway, number two.
Number two, Beltway.
Three,
number three,
Merrick. Lock that in.
I think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
Like we don't we want to like put the Fed on blast, but like if they don't have Quote wrestle, we can't in a good faith say that Quote was horrible this week.
Right.
The same way that because Quote is not as bad as Beltway. Beltway sticks with you. In the same way
Sticks
that,
like
Quote
Napalm
might
the
not.
Kids.
Exactly.
So, on our top three, we got Hisoka number one, Battler number two, Ricky Bobby number three. And for our bottom three, we got Dante at number one, Beltway number two, and Merrick number three. That is our top and bottom three for October 9th, or not October 9th, rather, September 10th. I don't like the way the non-Americans do their dates.
Yeah. But we gave options for theoretical people for that list, and this is still what we came to. So I don't think that you can debate who you think would go in that top bottom three, but if you look at the scientific data, I think this is the only answer.
The facts have been checked.
Peer reviewed by you and me. We're peers, and we have reviewed it.
Yes.
All right. So
that would close the book on this week's rendition of TFR and AEW.
like I said, top to bottom, great card. Despite everything, I don't want to let Hunk ruin everything because I believe those were the words out of Amakusa. You're ruining everything. I don't want that to weigh on this match, but I think the bangers kind of speak for themselves in that regard. So
Other than the massive hunk incidents, it was a pretty good week for wrestling.
I think it was a great week.
This is
I
where we
think
would
that,
normally end the podcast,
Yes.
but I think we got something going this week. I think we have plenty of time. I think we can
Yeah.
fit something in.
You think so? I think so.
I think I want to watch a classic banger.
You know what? I think we need a banger of one specific band to see how far he's come.
Do you want to introduce this match
think-
to the crowd or to the audience?
You know, in our previous watch along, we discussed the first, truly great match, Hunk Battler. That was season 3. Before that, there were good matches. Some people might not be able to remember all the way back in season 1, but you want to talk about really, really good matches. Matches that had stakes and the booking was set up and just flowed well. I think that Nero versus Virgil, season 1, episode 6, was one of those matches. So
It was a very iconic and memorable match. And
Yeah.
you got to remember, this is right after, maybe it was like a week or two after DMC5 came out. So the hype was real on this match.
Oh yeah. And so I think we're gonna do the countdown from 3.
And you're
Get
at the
ready,
timestamp,
sirs.
right?
Yeah, 0, 0. Okay, I'm gonna count down 3,
Well, hold on.
2.
The timestamp is we're not doing entrances.
Yeah.
We're just starting with the match.
yeah, just 0, 0. Oh,
So you want to go to
Probably- you wanna go-
435.
you want to skip entries? Well,
Well, that's what Jamie sent. Okay, well, what you sent me, it auto defaulted to 435. So, your fault. We could start at 0, but I'm blaming Jamie for this delay.
so starting from 0.
Yes, that way you can have a bit to talk about, like, ring psychology,
the backstory.
the backstory.
Yeah.
Okay, 0.
Because they
We're not going to skip the entrances. I blame OP for sending me a bad link.
Okay, so countdown from here. 3, 2, 1, begin.
Here we go. 22-minute match, including entrances and the finale or final, whatever you'd call it.
Yeah, that's the thing we talked about with Hunk Battler. It was a shorter match in a sense that, like, it only had like a few finishers. It was like bell to bell, like maybe 9-10 minutes.
Right. This is a bit longer because
It
it is a 2 out of 3 falls match.
It is. So that always kind of like, we'll see how that goes throughout the course of the match, because it always changes it, and sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. I don't remember the score, so maybe it was a 2-1, 2-0, 2-1 close. Maybe it was a 2-0 sweep. But one thing, when Virgil first started, he had that horrendous blue jacket pants combo.
DMC4, the DMC4.
DMC4, yeah.
Yeah.
This is not him. This is real banger energy right now.
Well, like I had said,
know.
this is a week or two after DMC5 came out.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, no Bury the Light, one of the best entrance songs ever, but, it's still Virgil. He still has the aura. He's in there. And I want to get my facts right. 1 second. Yeah, so one thing about Nero I think is interesting. He was the first King of the Jobbers.
Yes.
Like he won a 6-man ladder match. Mr. X, Arthur Morgan, Brendan Fraser, Fred Jones, Big Smoke, pillars of his industry. But out of all of them, Nero's the one who, came out, King of the Jobbers, and his first defense was against this man, one of the most like explosive and dynamic wrestlers in the business at the time. Go back and watch that 4v4 where he just killed everyone. No entrance music.
No, he has interest music. It's
he
different
does?
for this match exclusively. You'll hear it soon.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, this is blue jacket, red shirt,
And
Nero.
in case you forgot about this, this is a big deal. Nero's got a real hand in this match now.
He does.
He had the Buster hand or whatever it's called before this point.
I feel like DMC
And look at this
vibes
shot.
just like a-
This shot is awesome.
Yeah.
Or that the
Like-
shot before.
Yeah. Because like father and son is such a weird like angle to have in wrestling. Because like you'll see like brother versus brother. Having this set up is like it feels a little more special.
Virgil's kind of freaking out. That's just his AI. That has nothing to do with the ring psychology.
Well, I mean, I would have reason because like Virgil has reason to be confident, but you know it's still like does he knows Nero is his son at this point, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he knows like this is still like my son, so it's not going to be free eats, easy cleanup. But let's see if he is proven wrong or proven right.
Introducing the challenger from Limbo, weighing in at 220 pounds, Virgil.
220 Chad, the best weight,
Introducing the champion from the other side of darkness.
2K19.
Weighing in at 200.
How we miss
To
it
be
so.
young again.
He is
I don't miss it. I'm still in it.
Internet champion, Demon Hunter.
Demon Hunter. That's soulful right there.
Gives his belt to the ref. The ref wins lol.
Yeah, I don't know why. Was it like when was Hunk Armstrong? Was that also season 1, episode 6?
Hunk Armstrong was like episode 2 or 3 of season 1. It was early.
Was it? Because
I'm pretty sure it was early. I could be misremembering, but I thought it was super early.
like they do these matches in the Extreme Rules ring, so like that match was in that ring. So
That's true.
holy shit, they did a fucking lockup. We don't see that anymore.
Got the music playing. A rare season 1 white ref too.
True.
Good counter from Virgil.
Yeah, like they're like we know how fast these guys can go, but like they're still like trying to ease in and like. The match hasn't begun yet. Right now they're just trying to like kind of take control. See who's going to stay on top for a bit.
Right. This would be the equivalent of,
and-
I do my moves, you roll away, crowd applauds. Then you do your moves on me, I roll away, crowd applauds.
Yeah, and you
know what I'm.
You need
I
that
don't sound like an
sometimes-
idiot, right? You know what I'm talking about.
No, yeah, I do, like every
Okay.
Roman Reigns match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I see it here because like it's 2 and 3 falls, so you sometimes in one fall you can start 100 miles an hour, just like run into it and like go crazy with it. But big Falcon arrow there. But in 2 out of 3 falls, if you go 100 miles an hour, you're just gonna. Even if you get like one fall, you gotta start all again. Good sync. This is one of the this is the same song he did that really good sync against Headmaster too. So like little mini syncs are always appreciated because it just gets you into the tempo of the match that much more.
I think this is during a time when songs weren't that common in season 1. I think it was only in the finale when songs started to be common.
Yeah, but like this is a song that like you kind of need the match for. You kind of need it for. Yeah. Nero kind of cocky here. Like he says, like, "Oh, you want more?" and he keeps going. He doesn't get punished for that. So I think Nero's starting off in the lead here. Despite who his opponent is.
been a counterfest so far.
I mean, I'm. No one's hit like a huge move yet. I think that's the important thing to realize. Like, nothing
He's got
special.
the
Nothing
Buster
off the
on
top
Virgil.
rope, just yeah.
Also, is the breaker arm, not the Buster arm.
Yeah.
That's the name of the robot.
Yeah, but you know, there's a Bringer Bomb number 1. First 2. I like the Bringer Bomb. It sounds nice, but I don't know. I'm just gonna. Well, there's a flip, and Sig flip into a finisher.
The early seeds of AEW right here.
Yeah, and like I said, like I like the Death Valley Driver. It just does not like hit the same as a real finisher to me, because like, you know, the Cross Sparta, you know, like you could, and you know that's a 2 there. Like he would have hit like 3 Cross Spartas there, gotten the same 2, you know. But like it feels like it's adding up to something. Yeah, and it's the 4th Cross Sparta, and then it's the 5th Cross Sparta. Yeah, exactly. There's the little Chuny pros, you know. Going back to like early 2K19, you know, before like, you know, everyone got into it and like seeing a big rally here, but like stuff like the certain taunts and certain poses, like the Ricochet taunt and the Aleister Black taunt, they just feel more special to like an audience who's like very uninitiated. Counters
Yes.
to Starfall here actually. So Nero staying on top, going up top. This is the moment. You know, from,
This is a sink right here, isn't it?
exactly, yeah. Elbow
Oh.
off the top, sink, and you know, to like a season 1 amoeba. That's like the most mind-blowing shit you've ever seen.
Yes.
You know, fuck, and like little
A bit
shit
of an
like
anime
that
move
just-
there.
Yeah, like this is like building the foundation of the stuff. Second Bringer Bomb right here. He says it's over. The little top for the pin adds so much to like the flex of the match, and that's a 1.
That's 1.
That's yeah. Wait, was this the first 2 out of 3 falls match?
I doubt it. It was pretty. This is only episode 6, but
Yeah, Nero's still at 1 here, which is like, you know, you really feel like, oh man, Virgil is so far behind right now. Like, he has yet to hit a big move. You know, and here comes the second DVD. Like to the average season 1 Chad, this feels like the end of the match right here. Just like he already got beat, second finisher, surely that's the end. God, I've missed like 2.7, 2.9 kickouts so much. It's so important to the match, and just getting like the 1 in a million vicious head crank. Look at the torque.
we're reaching the halfway point in the match right now. Or the video, at least.
Hips up.
What a keep up.
Huge. Caught him.
But-
Again, like, it's, you know, Nero shutting him down. And you're thinking, like, how is he gonna, like, he can't come back from this. You know, sneaks a knee in there, and then, like, it's not as fast as we're used to. Like, it doesn't even, I've seen 2K19 go blazing fast, finally gets that Starfall, you know, that's the moment you think, like, okay, he's going back into this. Even with the ref
Ref
delay.
does a circle, which is weird.
Yeah, and that's the 2. It's like, oh, ref was a bit slow, only a 2. Doesn't follow up, goes right into Fisherman Driver. It's like a pin. Even at this point, like, you know, average TFR fan doesn't know that, like, you know, it's not ending 99% of the time if it's not a finisher. And then here comes another finisher. Nope. Big counter here.
Is this the moment Virgil starts coming back?
I think, huge cutter into the crossface. Holy shit, that was actually really nice.
Never see him do that ever again.
Yeah. Didn't get the sub there, that's just not his style, but, do they still do, like, the leg caught into submissions in the newer games? Because that's just such an important facet of it, and Yamato just out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. The ref, again, botches the spot.
Yeah, and that's 2. But the thing is, TFR fans know that, like, Virgil is... Their experience with him is hits 3 Yamatos in a row, and so they know it's, like, starting to pick up a bit. But now it's Nero coming to rally. And, like, I wanted to watch this match specifically to see, like, the difference between how he wrestles now and, how he wrestled, like, in the earlier stages of his career. Big no-sell there, It doesn't always happen, but, like, it kind of feels like, okay, now they're getting back into the match here. Kips up out of that. Another big kick. I don't think there's as much, like... Yeah, because, like I said, I think this is a great match to discuss, like, what we would come to expect from the future of, AEW, TFR bangers. Like, the music, the syncs, I think this is kind of like the blueprint, and, like, it hasn't aged great, however,
Especially with all the red
Yamato,
botches.
yeah. Those still happen, so maybe it's age. What?
Rope break.
What the? Oh, damn. Wait, okay, you know what? What helps it? It is the fact it doesn't flash rope break in big white letters in the middle of the fucking screen.
Right.
So, okay, if that was me, I would have sold that as a kick out at 1. Yeah, I just don't fuck with the Definitely Driver's finisher like that. It just does not look like... Oh!
A 2.9, we missed those.
I don't... And for a second I was like, oh, is that it? Like, I hadn't checked the timer. And, like, when you're watching live, you don't know, like... Interesting. Slow climb-ups, add a bit to the match always. Huge open. Oh. And now it's Virgil going right back up top rope. When it's Nero, right back on him. Huge knee. They're doing big spots, like, it feels more logical for, like, how the match is flowing. But a Falcon Arrow, that was... New cover. I think the cover there would have been big, but,
180 drag.
Yeah, because, like, it's not perfect, but... Oh.
What a move. I like that.
I love the rope
roundhouse kick.
The rope kick, the kick cuts into a second star fall.
Star fall. Huge. I actually was not expecting that.
Yeah. Only 2. Like, because we're thinking, like, is this gonna be is he gonna tie it up? He can't even tie it up yet. So, like, how could he possibly win this? And I'm trying for the Yamato. Backstage goes fuck. And just fucking high IQ reversal right there. Because, like, he in a few seconds ago he was just on the ground.
Bringer bomb.
In and out, but then he, yeah.
Into.
But I'm saying, like, yeah, because he's not putting it. But I'm saying, like, that was almost like he was almost like playing possum there. Like, oh, I'm too weak to, I can't stay still for the Yamato. And then, like, Virgil goes to play, and it's like, psych, because of the Bulldogs. Little things like that. That's I don't consider that like a spot. I just figure that like a good way of the match progressing.
Yeah. It was a story beat, if you will.
Yeah. Chokes out the headlock right into another.
Just so many finishers from Nero, and none of them seem to put Virgil down.
I know. Another reversal, and I'm saying, like, if this was the cross Sparta, I feel like it would be hitting different.
Right.
Big cutter. I know all the brands are going, oh, like I thought that could have been 3, you know, because like watching so much 2K23 makes you like, oh, they didn't get at 2.1, you know, is that it? But here it is. The corner Yamato is so fucking good. They just fucking die when they get hit with it. It's so. I think that's like contributes so much to like Nair's ability to kind of like, dare I say, become game accurate Virgil. And there it is. There's 1-1. But like without that move, do you think he could become like DMC3 or Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Virgil if he didn't have that move just like hitting the way it does?
No. It's such a powerful, hard-hitting move. That's why it's named after his sword. That's like the big move. That's the move that puts his opponent away.
Exactly. And I'm saying like, finding a finisher that good is hard. Now they're just like trading blows. It's like they have tied him up. It has become a bit more even now.
I think it's safe to say Virgil is taking control of this match at this point.
Yeah, like Nair's still fighting. He's not like dead, you know. Like he's trying to claw back the lead, you know, like right here. But you know, he's not giving it up that easy. You know, right? Hits him with
But
the
the
same
problem
move,
is,
you know?
Virgil has motivation now. He's built up that concentration meter.
I can't see the chat, but I just know everyone in season 1 chat saying, "Oh, he's motivated. He's motivated now. He's pulling his devil trigger." Because like, it was a simpler time. It was a happier time. Right
Yes,
into the
it was
start.
before the Smarks came in. Holy shit!
Okay. I could kind of see. I felt that Starfall like it was on the horizon there. You know, like just from the rhythm of the match, and only a 2. I'd be very upset if that ended the match. It doesn't feel right.
But the end is
way.
coming. The end is coming.
Point blank Yamato, misses make or break, and he just gets nailed with it. Right into the cover, center of the ring, no rope, no cope, only a 2.
What?
I think this is going to do a good job of like narrow, like I think that like I don't know, just finisher kickouts at this point, like they might be as prolific as they. Well, no, they're not as prolific as they are in 2K23. He did not hit 8 Yamatos like he did with like Nero versus what's his name. But in terms of the structure of the match, the finishers feel more. They had them out there, just little things. Going to seemingly repeat the spot of the elbow drop earlier. What's he going for here? Holy, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. The out, he went for a fucking Roberto. That is a visual play. I don't know, like, the 2K19 outside top rope mechanics are so weird, because sometimes it's like default elbow, sometimes it's like the craziest thing you've ever seen. I don't understand fully how it works. So sometimes it's just, you have no idea, you have no way to control what it's going to do. And, you know, this song has been playing on loop the entire time, and I'm so into the match at this point, like, it just feels like it's still flowing. Bring a Bomb, only a 2. Like, they're kicking out of a bunch of shit, like...
You gotta think about the people that actually played DMC5. They were hearing the song a lot.
Yeah.
Starfall out of nowhere.
Counter into Starfall, makes him no-sell, walks into a knee. I thought that was gonna be a Yamato for a second. That would've been fucking... Actually, going for a cover here. Oh, shit. Was that like a pseudo Yamato? With the knee? Is that
It
like
could have been. He might not have been
able.
able to get his foot fully up.
Yeah.
But you have to keep in mind, this was immediately like preceding a Starfall. Or a Starfall that preceded it, rather. So he would have realistically had that Yamato sword up.
Yeah. I thought that was good, and I think that was interesting to see like what we would later get as like a banger.
Yes,
So,
it was a banger
I think-
blueprint, a blueprint for bangers. A bang print, if you will. Well, bang, okay?
Shoot. Well, the moment you slid and mentioned Dante, I just felt visibly ill. So I don't know why he would do that.
I didn't say Dante.
In chat. So just
Oh,
I was
oh,
having a
okay.
good time.
Yeah,
Can't
no,
believe you would
my
mention
mood has been
me.
ruined. Mods, can we crush that man's skull?
Thank you. Actually, and look, Virgil actually got injured in this match, which I think Universe Mode just having that ability to like kind of have that like sell how the match went, is something else that just adds so much. So I don't know. Isn't 2K23 Universe Mode like completely broken?
Yes. If I remember correctly. And if it's. But then again, last I checked, it was a while ago, so.
I mean, it's not like they fixed it. It's 2K. So, all right. I think that was a very good match. That was kind of like nowadays it doesn't seem to stack up, but I feel like if we still saw that match between Nero and Virgil specifically, we would have enjoyed it on that level because
Yeah.
you could have two different guys, go out there and have a match roughly that good, and maybe if it's like fucking Rance versus Quote, we don't really care, but you know, early on, like season one, a match like that with Nero and Virgil is going to be like the most like mind blowing thing to that audience. So I think that's like probably one of the matches that kind of like set the stage for the future going forward. So I think Nero has gotten better. I think Virgil has actually somehow managed to like maintain his consistency as like a really like top worker. But what do you think?
Well, there is definitely a lot of evolution between those two, or for those two. Nero has become, I'll say it, a much better wrestler, even disregarding the Cody memes, right? He's actually
Yeah.
got a much better wrestler. He's got a much better finisher. Virgil is in a bit of a weird spot for me. I don't want to say he has regressed since that match. But
I think the problem is like he can't
I haven't
really
seen a
be
Virgil
with
match
who he's
that
wrestling.
yes. Yes. I also
Because
don't
like
know
season 7 finale, Virgil versus Fred, one of the best matches I've seen in a long time. That's like a however many years later they still managed to like deliver like a really great match.
yeah. But like I can't think of a match other than that and other than what we just saw where I was like, yeah, that was a cool Virgil match. He just kind of hasn't had that many good matches since then, and I don't mean to say he's had bad matches.
Didn't
But
he had that one triple threat? Was that with Payne and someone else? It was Virgil, Max Payne, and someone else.
I can't remember.
Was it Virgil in that one? Opie knows
I
what I'm
can't
talking
remember that
about, but it
match.
was. I think it was like season 6 post time skip, but like still the finale. But that one really good triple threat match between those three. It was Max
Oh,
Payne.
you mean like you mean in the epilogue?
Was it Fred? Was it Fred, Max, Virgil? Yes. Yeah, that was a really good one.
Was that the
I mean,
epilogue
like
of
look,
season
look.
6?
Yeah, the season 6 epilogue. It was
Where it
like
went back to season 1.
yes.
Yes.
Like I'm saying, like you
I
throw those
vaguely
three
remember
guys in
that.
there. Yeah, because it was Black Jacket Maxarino, hair still and no bald, no glasses, real season 1 times.
Yes.
So yeah, I think as we go on, I do want to start with like some of the earlier matches as we do watch alongs. I don't want to go like, oh, let's do a retrospective on this season 8 banger, like or even like season 0 or
We need to work our
TAL.
way up.
But
We need to work our way up.
yeah, but I feel like next time we do need to kind of switch on. We had two like establishing 1v1s, but going forward, maybe we'll see what options we have.
Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I think that's about it for the watch along. Are we gonna do the final
about
super
it for the
chats?
podcast. Were there any super chats?
Yeah. Were there? Because all right.
Well, there was
I'll do it.
the comment about the art book, the Tsukihime art book. There was a
Oh yeah.
$911 super chat from Master of Awesomeness who is going to turn 32 tomorrow and wants us to wish them a happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I hope it is not stolen.
I hope it
in
is a
G1
banger of a
tradition.
birthday. Oh yes, I
Yeah.
also hope that no motherfucker snatches Yay birthday.
Exactly. But if everyone has like any like last minute super chats before we wrap it up here, sure.
Snatches they motherfucking birthday. I don't know. It seems like the well is dry.
Yep. Please send us send us super chats for money. Haha. But if that's about it, I'm ready to wrap it up.
I'm also ready to wrap it up.
All right. In that case, good matches, good bangers. I can't believe our hunkster is gone. Wrap it
Jeff
up.
Jeffrey
Old man-
Keith Epstein sends a
Sorry about
$5
that.
super chat. Wrap it up. Old men arguments are about to happen.
Yeah, old man and old woman yell at each other, so that's going to be interesting.
Great.
Uh,
Can't wait.
great match. Just great.
Yeah, we can turn this off now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you all for watching and listening in. We'll come back with you again sometime next
Yeah,
week. I might not be here next week, so
Yeah, but
we'll see what happens
if
after
you were
that.
here next week, you would be saving up all your money for that 699 PS5 Pro and also the disc drive. Where the fuck is Bloodborne Remastered? Thank you very much.
What super chat? He says there's another super chat. I can't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, is it this one that is
had cheekily-
0.000700 Joe coin? It just says 600. Yeah, no, he was just saying that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. $699 US. Maybe Freddie Francesco will return this Friday. Visual plea. Who could see?
Well, at this point, he kind of has to. It would be a
I mean,
huge
yeah,
missed opportunity otherwise.
One PS Pro. One. What game? Astro Funkarino. I've never owned a PlayStation, so that's okay.
What a blunder.
Absolutely. There's always Concord for him to buy. Oh wait.
Oh.
Oh man.
Anyway, we should turn this. Oh wait. We have a one PS5 Pro donation by Hawkstein. Will Locke ever join TFROP?
Final Fantasy VI Lock or like John
You'll have to
Locke from
specify.
Lost because both are actually really nice. Like
You're implying OP has ever seen any kind of Drew Locke. Well, you're implying that OP has ever watched any kind of non-Japanese show or movie, which is laughable.
yeah, but Locke, but like I see just Locke and I see Final Fantasy VI, which is like solid. So yeah, no. Well, to be fair, Western Dimes, Chris Redfield, Hunkster, Dante, all my favorite Western Dimes.
Yeah, okay. I can't think of anything else to say.
Yeah.
Lost was last relevant before OP, Janny, and especially Purd were born.
I watched Lost. It was good for a bit.
You need to watch the
Well,
Lord of the Rings OP.
Like, yeah. Has he seen like even just he's seen like Return of the King, right? Just one of them.
Haha.
Oh wow, that's damn.
He's a fucking idiot. I hate him. Let's end the podcast.
Yep. Unless we'll be trapped and betrayed here forever.
All right. Thank you for listening, and we're gonna sign off on another Wrestling Observer Rumble, the September 10th version.
We will see you next week.
We will see you. We will see you in the good old days after 9/11, everyone.
Exactly. It will be the good old days. after 9/11. Tony Khan will be there. Amir will be there.
Joe Biden will be there.
Hopefully, Joe Biden will be there. 9/11.